Meowdy meowdy, fellow gamers. What's up? We're going to play a fucking stinky Metroid game today. Let's go.
Stinky.
Have to load
This
the
is
ROM.
the first time we've done one of these where I felt like a true sense of like the need to be militant with our discussion topics because the game is so short.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh god, we have 2 hours to say everything about Metroid Zero Mission. Although we could always just stream it again, I guess, sometime if we felt like we didn't cover all of our ground.
The
First
game's
of
so
all, I want to
short, I have to
shout
play
out
it twice.
Nisa, who draws all of the art for this channel, has really knocked it out of the park with this Metroid art.
Yeah.
Banner art, the thumbnails, like her style and Metroid are just made for each other. Like, look at the way that the title screen looks with all of that surrounding us. It's just gorgeous. I'm my first time seeing it since we went live. I couldn't see it beforehand, but
Oh, look, I've already
hello
beaten this
Gary
game on this
always.
emulator twice.
Incredible.
I have three
You've just
complete
been
save
running.
files on my Game Boy as well. Until I played this one a lot. It's just so little. It's a bite-sized Metroid adventure. What's not to love?
So did you end up beating the original Metroid?
I made it like 2/3 of the way through. I killed Kraid, but I didn't kill Ridley. That's like the next thing I have to do is kill Ridley, but like I did make a lot of progress. Like I got the Varia suit, I got the ice beam, I got the fucking I didn't get the wave beam yet. I have high jump boots. Got a lot of
I'm
shit and
guessing each individual file has to beat normal before it can play hard mode
I guess so.
or something.
I'd check this.
Because it looks like there's space for a hard mode.
Yeah, there certainly is. Does this have Okay, yeah, original Metroid is unlocked already. What does Metroid Fusion
Yeah,
Link do?
I think the first time that I ever played this original Metroid was through this, and I think I also had bought the original Metroid cart because they released it on Game Boy Advance, and then they also released it through this, and I remember feeling gypped that I had like paid $20 for the standalone game, and it's just in the next game
That's pretty
anyways.
funny. It's also in Metroid Prime. I just checked that if you have Metroid Prime on the
Yeah.
GameCube, OG Metroid's on that one too. I don't recommend
I
playing
think
that
you
with the
have to.
GameCube controller. It kind of sucks.
Do you have to beat it first, or is it just in there?
I'm actually not sure. I beat it so long ago. Like I've beaten Prime like 3 times, but it all was like 6 years ago, and I forgot most of the game.
Nisa Wild is here in chat. Scroll back and hear us talking about how amazing your art is, because it's just the most perfect fit for Metroid. The color on these Metroids is just like absolutely perfect. I like that Metroids are the only thing that could be even like goomier and slimier than us, the slime dolls ourselves, as
Planet
character
Zebes. I
designs.
called this place home once in peaceful times, long before evil haunted the caverns below. Now I shall finally tell the tale of my first battle here, my so-called Zero Mission.
That's one of those things that is like obviously in Japanese they use the English words zero mission,
Zero
like
Mission.
like or like watashi no zero mission. It just doesn't actually sound cool in English at all, but whatever. We would call that our first mission. Nobody would ever use the phrase zero mission. That's fine.
It's a very anime for sure. All the cutscenes in this game look so like manga, which is it's got to be intentional, right? 'Cause didn't the manga come out around the same time as this game?
Yes, the manga was 2003 to 4, and I don't know how many people on Earth have ever read it. Like, up until now, like, I feel like more people are aware of the contents of it now through YouTube videos than had been for like 20 years. I certainly didn't know the contents of it until like doing research for my Samus versus Samus audiobook, which if any of y'all listening to this have not heard, is pretty much the reason that I wouldn't shut up about Metroid on our last streams, and I was really trying to keep on the down low about it because I'm working on multiple big projects, and I have found that the more I talk about them, the harder they become to do, because you get the satisfaction from talking about it that you're supposed to get from doing it.
Yep.
So, like, I had linked the first one I wrote was actually the second chapter of the audiobook, Samus versus Toxic Parents. And I sent that to Krona just to make sure that I was understanding the lore correctly. 'Cause there's a few games I actually haven't played, and I've like just watched stuff on YouTube, and the manga as well. But I knew that Krona knew all the holes of the stuff that I didn't. And she was like, "Yeah, this checks out." So I was like, "Sick." And then I sent you Samus versus Isolation also, and I don't remember if you ever got back to me saying that you had read it before I wrote the rest of it.
I have no idea. My memory is fucked.
Same. My memory has been like just totally blitzed lately.
My brain has been melted since COVID. Long beam. My beam is long now. I can shoot things from further away than 3 feet.
Yes. Oh my god, that's the most miserable thing about original Metroid. Like, so getting to right there takes like 5 seconds in Zero Mission, and like, it doesn't feel that quick in the original game. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like you're really like making an accomplishment by getting the long beam, and then you're like, oh, this game's not shit. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because the actual, like, if you look at the game map in this game and compare it to the map of Metroid 1, it is very similar. Like, the layout is basically the same. It's just that in Zero Mission, everything has been completely revamped and, like, shrunk. So, like, the vertical hallway that you find here near the beginning, in Metroid 1, it takes, like, 10 times longer to climb to the top of that vertical shaft, because it's just way the fuck longer. And not to mention,
That
like,
makes
the
sense.
first one is floatier, and, like, in this one, Samus is a lot heavier.
oh yeah, the floatiness, the slowness,
Yeah.
just because like Super Metroid was the one that really turned Samus into like this fucking battle mech, like, you know, this fast, like breakneck running, you know,
I was like,
just full arsenal warrior.
yeah, it's funny because the first 3 games are all, like, they feel very low gravity, like, Samus can just jump really fucking high and falls very slow and gently. And then starting with Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy, this has been the trend ever since, is that Samus rises and falls very fast. And fans seem to prefer this way, which is interesting to me.
Okay, so do you think that fans overall do not like? I've always heard Super Metroid just considered like the abject best in the franchise by like almost anybody who's a serious Metroid player.
Generally,
And like,
yeah.
there are people like me who, even though I still think Super Metroid is clear in a way the best one, although I still haven't played through all of Dread yet, which is like, again, that's the one that I had to look up all the like lore and shit to make sure that it checked out with my analysis, because like, it's not so different from the other games that it like, you know, that it is like, wow, this is like so incredibly new, it changes the story on what Metroid is. It's actually more like it's familiar enough that it's actually good. Like, that's why everyone loves it, is that it's only new in like ways that are positive, but like particularly it continues to address some of the same story themes, because like I don't know how many people know this, but like the villain of Dread claims like he is Samus's father, because apparently his Chozo DNA was contributed to her having Chozo DNA, and so he tries to be like, oh, you gotta side with me, I'm like your dad. And in the manga, Mother Brain does the same exact shit, because Mother Brain is the one who infused her with the Chozo DNA and said, like, you know, oh, you should treat me like you should regard me as your mom. And in both cases, she's just like, fuck you, my real parents are dead, you know, because her real parents, when she was like 3, were killed by Ridley, according to the manga, which the rest of the canon seems to build off of the manga. So like, I think Nintendo still considers what is in the manga to be more or less canon, even though there's like little contradictions between every single Metroid story that make them impossible to really canonize altogether. Like this game, at the very beginning, she said, I'm going to Zebes, a planet that I used to call home. And that was not a thing in Metroid for the NES or either of the first two sequels. They just never mentioned, like in in Super Metroid, she blows up Zebes. Like,
Yeah.
there's no mention of it being a planet she had ever been to. So, like, that's all completely new, but it changes the way you perceive those games. So you go back and play Super Metroid, and you're like, oh, this is Samus blowing up the closest thing she had to a homeworld left, you know?
Yep.
And so that's kind of that's the sort of like storylines I try to create in the Samus versus Samus book, because I think you had put it, or somebody put it to me, like, all of these pieces of information are things that like I know, but when you hear them all read in like a story together, like it is one story, it just changes the way you feel about it a little. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, like you can clearly see that Samus is always fighting toxic parents when I just described the games in terms of Samus fighting toxic parents. And I'm like, the first fucking thing she fights in Metroid Prime is called Parasite Queen, and it has toxic waste coming out of its mouth, and it's called a Parasite Queen. Like, it's just a symbol of toxic motherhood, basically. So, so yeah, that was the one that started the whole thing. It was literally, I was just replaying Metroid Prime and just thinking, like, man, you're always fighting something's mom. Like, you kill the Parasite Queen, you kill Flagra, which is not so much like a mother figure as that, like, it's the plant that's infecting all the water in the area. So when you kill Flagra, all the water turns non-toxic. So it's like, okay, you're always like fighting toxicity and like evil parents, you know. And then you fight fucking the giant she-goth in Findranadris, which, like, you fought a bunch of babies up to that point, so it's hard not to think, oh, that's the parent, you know, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was what inspired the whole thing. It was like I wrote the Samus versus Toxic Parents essay, and then I basically was like, you know, I think there's 3 more major things I could talk about with Metroid, which are isolation, because every single review of the game ever mentions isolation. You will never see someone talk about Metroid and never mention the feeling of isolation. And so that one had to be, and that's why it had to end up being first, because I was like, well, okay, if that's such a defining characteristic of the game, like, why is it that like we call games Metroidvanias that don't even have a sense of isolation, if that's like so definitional to Metroid, you know? And that's kind of what the versus isolation part, which is a YouTube video on my channel, in case you're somebody who's seeing this and doesn't know this. But it also advertises a 4-hour audiobook where I read all 5 of these essays I wrote about the themes of Metroid. So versus isolation, versus toxic parenthood, versus womanhood, which is going to be the most controversial one, should it ever be well, when it is adapted to video, I should say. Like,
it's my favorite out of the bunch.
I'm really glad it is, because that's the one that I wrote thinking about someone like you as a Samus fan, and like what, like, yeah, this is what Prono will be reading and thinking, yeah, exactly. And I saw other YouTubers who made a lot of the same points, especially about Zero Suit Samus. Like,
yep.
After I had written all these complaints about her, I started watching other videos to be like, how do other people feel about this? And like heard a lot of the same shit I'd just written. So I was like, oh, thank God, you know. I'm not going to be the only person complaining about Zero Suit Samus in the world or whatever. Because she does have a lot of fans, but like I argue in this essay, like, I basically at one point in the womanhood essay go over the sales figures of the Metroid franchise, revealing that Metroid Dread is the best-selling Metroid ever, with 3 million copies. The worst-selling Super Smash Bros. Games have 5 million copies, and the best-selling one, Ultimate, has 37 million copies sold. So way more people know Zero Suit Samus than have any association of her with Metroid at all. Yep. Like, she is just a Super Smash Bros. Character. And so when you realize that, you realize Metroid fans don't give a fuck about Zero Suit Samus. She is, you know, she's just for Smash fans. Like, as I call them, Nintendo gooners in the in the article.
Insanely,
but yeah,
unfathomably based take.
Thank you. That's the article that, like, I don't think will be controversial for people who will read it, but as a video, I know it will summon all the people out, you know, all the controversy, which I would actually love, because it would just promote the book sales, obviously. Sounded like you were about to say something. I cut you off.
Oh no, I was just I was just saying I agree wholeheartedly with everything you said in that chapter. Particularly what you just said about Zero Suit Samus being for Smash Bros. Like gooners. It's like, yeah. No, I have seen an unfathomable amount of Zero Suit Samus porn. It's I've seen her more in porn than I've seen her in the video games.
I also make this point in the article that like in all of that Zero Suit Samus porn, they always make a point to show some of the outfit because you can't identify her without it. Like she's just a generic blonde chick, so if you show her naked, it's not Samus in any like it doesn't read as anything, you know. Unless they give her like the exact like you know character model that you've seen in Smash or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to read every single thing that anybody has said in chat. Zinc said, played this a few years back and it was awesome. Hell yeah. We've seen a few people. I think Crystalline Fos said that they just played through Fusion, or are playing through Fusion for the first time. And actually beat Yakuza on normal mode, which I have never done. I did it on easy mode as a kid, and then couldn't do it on normal mode as a 20-year-old or thereabouts. So I'm thinking about giving it another shot sometime, because I'm a lot better at video games. I read an article that I wrote in 2012 on the My Sword is Unbelievably Dull blog, where I had reviewed all the 2D Metroids, because I just played through them all, you know, and most of them for the first time. And I had given up on Yakuza, but I mentioned in the article that I had 7 energy tanks, and looking back at it, I'm like, there's no way that's all I could have had. Like, that's like more than halfway through the game. There's no way I couldn't have had like 9 energy tanks or something. I could be wrong, but Gary always says, always bummed I can't super chat on this channel. Well, hey, we run some really great retention numbers here. Y'all, I extremely appreciate how many of you literally watch the entire videos, and especially not just the live chat, but also like this channel gets way more views post hoc. Like every single stream we've done, partly because we're not that good at announcing them properly, but you know we're still working on figuring out when our scheduling is, when you know what works. You know, Krona's got a regular job. I'm insane, so things happen.
You say that like I'm not also insane.
We're both insane. My regular job involves writing about Samus, so. But yeah, anyway, what I'm trying to say is we're already like a third of the way through our watch time requirement. So,
Hell yeah.
you know, as long as we keep doing these for a few more months, we'll hit that before the year's over.
Monetizable, baby.
Woo!
Let's freaking go. How do you feel about Samus without the Varia suit, where she's just yellow? How does that make you feel?
Where she's just, you mean like with
the default power
like
suit?
she's I like it as a particularly depowered contrast. Like
Yes.
so because I first played like the first actual Metroid I ever got my hands on was Prime, which is where she's in, you know, the Varia suit at first, but then she loses it, and then she's in the down-powered suit for like maybe 40 minutes, you know, 20 minutes if you're really good, and then like you're in the Varia suit. And it's interesting because I hadn't really even clocked that in this game you're also in the power suit at first. Like, it just didn't register to me when I was playing it as a kid, I guess. And, you know, other than Prime, I played Fusion, where the suit is just a totally different thing. So, like, I guess I just wasn't that keyed into the power suit until more recently. And now I'm like, okay, that's neat. Like, it's not how I think of Samus, even though, like, you would think that must be what that is actually the normal suit, right? Like, in my mind, the Varia suit is the normal suit, but she always has to get the Varia suit. So, like, does she normally have it? I don't know. She has it in Smash, so that's the one I associate her with.
Yeah. It's just because in Metroid 1 and 2, the Varia suit was the only other suit besides the default one. So naturally, Metroid Prime and Super would, like, well, not even Super. Yeah, I guess just Metroid Prime, it makes sense for her to start with the Varia suit already. Like, half of these games don't explain
you
why
do start with it, right? Because you also lose all your power-ups in Super, right? At the start?
No, you start with just like this game, you're just like basic
Oh.
bitch power suit with no upgrades,
Um,
not even missiles.
I thought when you fought Ridley at the start, you had like some power ups that you lose.
Nope,
Um,
none at all.
shit. Well, I think I miswrote that into the fourth chapter about loss and growth because I was talking about how many games do that. But because Prime starts you
Yeah.
off like all powered up, and then you lose your powers. At the start of Fusion, she just totally is like rewritten in her DNA and stuff. Like she's just always like losing something, and then changing. You know, in some way that makes her more capable, makes her even stronger, but like also just weirder and less human. You
Yeah.
know, until the point where, as of Dread, she's like, she is herself. She is. Y'all, this may come as a surprise because people have told you many times that the main character of Metroid is not Metroid. That's not true anymore.
Yeah.
Samus is Metroid now.
That always
She is
makes me
actually
happy.
herself Metroid. So if somebody says, "Oh yeah, my favorite part about Metroid is getting to play as Metroid," they're not wrong anymore.
I love that trope. That's becoming one of my new favorite tropes is when like something gets a legacy sequel and then the title character like becomes the monster or whatever. Like, oh my god, that's so cool. They did that with Resident Evil not too long ago where it was like a twist that like in one of the games they say the character you've been playing the whole time is basically a zombie himself. And I was like, that these games have dumb as fuck writing, but that is actually really clever. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they're. I mean, part of the argument I kind of make in the. Have you made it to the last chapter of the book yet? Samus versus Samus, the title.
That's the last one I have to listen to. I've been like listening to them on the way to work.
So I don't want to spoil it too much, but part of it is me basically talking about how like the most definitional thing about Metroid at this point is Samus, and so like Samus and Metroid have to kind of be synonymous now because like you can like there are literally games that are in every way Metroid other than that they don't have Samus for the main character, you know? Like so like if it doesn't have Samus it's not Metroid, which is it's the biggest reason Federation Force is so frustrating because you can't even play as Samus in that game. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how that was ever a decision anybody made. Anyway, everybody should buy my audiobook. It's available on itch.io for $5. And I really must thank everybody who has purchased it because most of you overpaid. And as a result, I've made like $250 on the book so far. And if I was collecting ad revenue, like the video would have had to have made 200,000 views to get that in ad revenue. The video only has 2,000 views. So that's like crazy. Like in terms of like how much support the video has received in comparison to how much audience it has, it's like staggering. So
It's pretty epic.
yeah, I just want to see it continue to grow and for people to keep sharing it, and also, you know, getting new people into Metroid is pretty cool. I honestly wasn't sure like how much of my audience was already predisposed to it until we did that last stream where we asked like, hey, do y'all know Metroid? And like most of the chat was like, yeah, of course. We were like, okay, fuck, I am in business. Let's go.
Metroid's gotten a lot more attention over the years. Like it's crazy because it started so like relatively niche. Like I mean, it was like Metroid 1 was one of the best-selling NES games, but only in America. Like no one in Japan gives a fuck about Metroid. And like I think every sequel after that released in America before it came out in Japan. I might be wrong about that, but at least some of them did.
I mean, it's literally not Japanese anymore because like Prime is made by an American studio, and now the main series is being made by a Spanish studio.
Yeah, Mercury.
So it's just straight up not a Japanese series, but that makes sense because it was never popular in Japan. So all the kids who grew up with it, who really care about it and like want to make it,
and
are
like,
not from Japan.
And the last time they tried having a Japanese director, I think, was Other M, which was like incredibly poorly received.
Fucking disaster.
Absolutely despised by most.
Ninja Team was not the team to do Metro. Like I remember when it was announced, literally all of us, our first thought was, oh, they're gonna make Samus a bimbo. Like,
Yeah.
because it's the fucking people who made Dead or Alive beach volleyball. Like, that's it. That's who they are. That is their DNA. Like, they weren't gonna not do that. So
Yeah. I mean,
as
like,
soon as I knew it was them, I was like, oh no, Samus is done.
sometimes a
As a
studio
feminist.
can surprise you though. Like the Retro Studio was like not a big deal when
I
they
will
made
even
Metroid
say
Prime.
it was not, in my opinion, nearly as bad as I feared.
Yeah.
Because they didn't try to make her and Adam a couple. Like, if they had tried to put any romantic tension into it, it would have been so much worse than it was. But, like, and also, like, part of the problems with it is, like, the translation is really bad. Like, I've
Yeah.
watched one video that broke down how, like, in the Japanese version, it's more explicit that Adam is, like, sexist, and Samus has a problem with it. And in the English version, it doesn't come off that way. It comes off like she thinks she was just a brat, and she's just like, yep, I have such a problem with authority. I just couldn't deal with it, you know? And it's like, what?
It's so
How
fucking
is this
dumb.
you?
Doesn't even make sense with the game. 'Cause I think Other M wasn't it written by the same guy who did Fusion?
Probably, but
Yoshio
I
Sakamoto.
don't I didn't look into the I didn't look into like the staff specifics of the games.
Okay. Like, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Sakamoto was in charge of both Fusion and Other M, which is baffling because Fusion. Maybe the translation is just bad again or something, but like in Fusion, Samus says like, "Oh, Adam used to like call me lady." If anyone else did that, it would sound sarcastic, but he made it sound dignified and like respectful. And
Yeah.
then like
Well,
Other M is
the
just like, "Oh, he called me
implication-
lady." Ironically, it was sarcastic. What the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, it didn't make any fucking sense because in Fusion and in the manga, it had clearly been implied that she had developed this relationship with him when she worked for the Federation.
Yeah.
And in Other M, it suggested that she didn't like him the whole time that she was with the Federation, but instead there was this whole other mission that happened after Super Metroid. That game takes place after Super Metroid, which makes no fucking sense.
Yes, he was a
And she
sexist
meets
dick.
Adam on this mission, and he's still being an asshole to her, but then he sacrifices himself at the end of the game, so now she thinks he's awesome. Like,
So stupid. Giga, do you know how to fly with bombs? I do know how to fly with bombs. It's just really annoying, and I don't do it often.
needless to say, I spend a lot of time complaining about Other M during these these 5 essays.
Yeah.
Yeah, part 5, Samus versus Samus, is like, it's the longest one, and it's the one where I try to kind of pull all the strings together to just be like, you know, here's the full portrait of how Samus is perceived and also how I perceive her. And part of it is also that, like, I too main her in Smash. So, like,
Yep.
well, really not until after becoming a Metroid fan, actually. I was originally a Pikachu main, and then, like, once I actually played the games and I felt like, oh, Samus is cool, then it was like, she had been my cousin's main, and then I play her in like a totally different style from anybody else I've seen. I'm not necessarily amazing at Smash, but I am better than you might expect at Smash.
We gotta play Smash Ultimate sometime.
Yeah, I'd be super curious to know which one of us is better at Smash, because you're way better at video games in general than I am.
Yeah, but I'm
But
bad
Smash
at, like,
is one of the
fighting.
only games I've spent like tens of thousands of hours playing, you know?
I think I've also
Not
spent.
tens of thousands, that sounds crazy. Thousands of hours playing,
Yeah.
we'll say.
I've
Maybe
also
10.
spent thousands of hours on it, but it was like I was not making an effort to get better. I was just playing with friends and being dumb. So.
Also, none of those hours were in the last like 5 years whatsoever.
Same, yeah. Smash has not been relevant to
Oh.
me since Ultimate came out, like in the like 4 months since it came out.
And yeah, the reason that Metroid has been getting so much attention lately, I think one part of it, obviously Smash and Ultimate being like, I mean, it's the only reason I think it got resurrected at all was because of Smash. I think after Super Metroid, Nintendo just wasn't ever going to touch it again. And then because like the Smash games made like curiosity about Samus, and then there was like an English studio, or American rather I should say, that has like ideas about what to do with it in 3D. They were like, okay, we'll try it again. You know, we'll give Metroid a shot. And it was like somewhat successful. So they kept it going a little bit, and then they fucked up by pressuring Retro Studio into making Metroid Prime 2 too quickly.
Yeah.
And nobody had beaten Metroid Prime 1 yet, so it sold like half as well. And then they fucked up by Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii just being like two entirely different, and I don't know, I just don't think it was well timed, but like that's what led to them doing something different and doing Other M, and like basically just they left Metroid in the hands of this producer at Nintendo who I guess they just give odds and ends, like whatever IPs they didn't know what to do with, they would give it to this guy. And sometimes he was successful with them, but like literally all of the bad Metroid games were under this guy's watch, where it was just him like desperately trying to slot the fucking franchise into wherever. So that's why you got pinball and a bunch of first-person shooters, like online competitive fucking first-person shooter games and online team first-person shooter game. Like none of them make any fucking sense. And then finally, when they put Mercury Steam on it, is when we started seeing improvement. But even then, like Samus Returns, is kind of like a iffy. It's like okay, it's nice to have Metroid back and it not be shit, but this isn't exactly what we're looking for. And we thought we were getting Prime 4 right after. And the other factor, I think, beyond Super Smash Bros. Popularity and increasing growth of popularity is Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Direct is such a huge deal in the world of gaming. And, like, Prime 4 was announced 8 fucking years ago.
Yep.
During a Nintendo Direct. So for 8 years, Metroid fans have been like, constantly talking about are we ever getting Prime 4 for real? Like we got Samus Returns. Dread had also been announced like 13 years before it actually came out or something. Like the plot of Dread was imagined like more than a decade before it actually was a video game. So the fact that we finally actually are getting these... Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in December. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a fucking release date until like the day I put out my book, because I had been so in depth of looking at all the other Metroid games. I had not thought to look at current news about Nintendo Direct and find out that there fucking had just been an announcement for Prime 4.
I've been so patiently waiting for Prime 4 since its announcement. I've just been like, yep, that'll be another new Metroid someday. Maybe I'll play the other Prime games that I never finished. Maybe I'll get around to that. I don't know. And then Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in December. I still haven't finished the other Prime games, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll play Prime 1 again, to prime myself. Very,
I mean,
yeah.
All hopes are that it's more like Prime 1 than like Prime 2 or 3, for me at least.
Yeah. Prime 2 was
but I don't
cool,
really know what
but
to
like,
expect.
I never even played Prime 3. Just took one look at it and was like, no. They diluted the identity of Metroid so fucking hard. Like, there's like all these NPCs and they're talking to you, and it's like,
They really tried to turn it into like an epic space like adventure story, and it's like, I think it was a problem in part of time period of like, it feels like a way older video game than it is. Because that Prime 3 is from, I think, 2007, which is the same year as Mass Effect. And, like, when you compare the story, like, why would you even attempt to put, like, a somewhat serious, epic sci-fi story into a game that's not very story-forward in the same year as, like, the most epic sci-fi story game ever made, Like, I just think it was, it felt like a PS2 game in a PS3 game world, if that makes sense. And it was on the fucking Wii, which doesn't help anything. Hey, this exact moment that you're playing through right now is in the footage of my of the first video, the Versus Isolation video. It's like one of the only shots from this game in there, because I show mostly the original.
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for Prime 4, like the new trailer?
I have not.
Yeah, I saw that trailer. I saw Samus riding a motorcycle, and I saw that they gave her a new suit.
I pogged.
And I was like, all right, yeah, they did it. Let's go. I'm sold. I'm sold on this.
I heard a motorcycle, and I'm already fucking pogging. The only thing I could like more than being like the most badass warrior chick in the universe is doing it on a motorcycle. So
like being Samus on a motorcycle that can do the Akira slide and damage enemies like in fucking Bayonetta or something. It's like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just
give me that.
anytime Samus gets a new suit that looks cool, I'm very pleased with that. I'm always let down a little bit when a new Metroid comes out and it's like, you know, power suit, Varia suit, gravity suit, you're done. I'm like, oh, okay, you didn't even.
Yeah,
Give her cool new character designs. I want to see them
for sure.
so badly. That's why Prime 2 is like a cult classic or whatever. It's because Prime 2 is the one where she gets the coolest suits.
There's a channel called That Metroid Guy that has reviewed every single suit that she wears in every single game.
Yeah, I
And
watch
man,
those.
it's more than I realized until I was looking at the channel. I was like, oh my god, there's like 100 of them.
Does it
I'm gonna continue back. Sorry, what were you saying?
And then he
Oh
also
shit!
like reviews every like design of every suit from like the different games too. So it'd be like the gravity suit from Super, and the gravity suit from Prime, and the gravity suit from that game.
Yeah. He does like, I mean, it pretty much every detail of the Samus aesthetics that has ever been presented. There's like an extensive exploration of it on the channel. There's like 3 different channels. There's the Orpheon. I can't remember the third one. There's 3 channels that have been around for like almost a decade that just cover Metroid. And then I linked like 25 different channels that had either like a series or at least one really good analysis video about a Metroid game in the description of the isolation video. So if you wanted a lot more Metroid analysis, oh boy, I watched so much of it, and I truly tried to collect all the really exceptional stuff, although there's some stuff I know I forgot that I still want to add to that description. I'm going to continue reading the whole chat.
I was gonna
Gary
say,
always
I most recently, as far as like Metroid video essays go, I most recently listened to the Geek Critique, but not his old reviews. He actually re-reviewed all the games. And his updated
that's like a long video.
Yeah, his updated take on Metroid 1 is like my favorite video about Metroid 1 that I've seen so far. Because he did the same thing I just did, where he like drew his own map and played it as if it was 1987.
Yeah.
And it's way more fun that way.
I haven't actually completed this video yet, but there's a channel called Shugles that I followed for a long time for making extremely long Pokemon videos. And he just did like an hour-and-a-half one about Metroid called like saying like it's a mess but that's a good thing is the title or something like that. But I think it's literally his favorite video game, like OG Metroid. So
That's funny.
It's coming to it from that perspective. I'll have to finish that one at some point because I forgot I hadn't yet. All right, reading the entire chat, all of it.
Damn. Oh damn. Let's go. Let's freaking
Gary
go.
always said Doug Walker is Giga's Cult Corona. I've been waiting like 10 minutes to read you that chat.
Yeah, Doug's
Gary
gonna be a
also
recurring
said-
character. He's gonna be like depressed, like
please,
drinking,
please.
day drinking in the
Please
corner of
bring
my
Doug
bedroom.
back. Please give him a whole arc. Somehow, because he already helped you. Now you're gonna have to like somehow return the favor.
I mean, I have the costume. What else would I do with it?
Boy.
Oh my
Gary
fucking
said,
god.
I feel high and I didn't do drugs. Well, time to start.
Metroid does that too.
Nisa says, don't forget to like the stream, y'all. Please and thank you. Absolutely. Please do. Please do. It helps. It helps in the algorithm. Mayday from space and hope you've been having fun, Nisa and Gary. Your slime doll's mother brain looks so gooey and cool, Nisa. Absolutely agreed. And I don't want to think about what this means for Kraid's belly fingers.
I saw that post when she made it, and I think that was in response to you talking about like all the monsters that are like mothers, all the mattresses
Oh, yeah.
in these games. I hate to think what
That's
that means for
hilarious.
Kraid's belly fingers.
Oh yeah, like that was the most fun part about writing that essay was like as I learned about the games I hadn't really experienced, like Dread, realizing that they were like even more playing into the themes. And like
Yeah.
in Prime 3, so like in Prime 1, the planet you're on, SR388, is like covered in wait, that's the one from
That's Metroid
Talon
2.
4. Yeah,
Yeah.
Prime is Talon 4. In Talon 4, the planet's been infested with phazon, which is like this blue substance that's everywhere. And you can learn that it was like a comet hit the planet and just like landed this shit everywhere, and it's mutating everything. And like the mutations are kind of out of control, but they do make you way the fuck more powerful. And by the end of the game, Samus ends up like mutating with phazon. And she has a phazon suit that, unbeknownst to her, combines with the Metroid Prime after you kill Metroid Prime, and it turns into Dark Samus. You have to fight that in the next 2 games. And Dark Samus is like the most effective villain in all of Metroid Prime, because you actually kill her at the end of 2, then she comes back again at the end of 3, because the fucking space feds decided to just harvest some of that phazon from the planet, because why not? They want the power. And of course, they end up getting little scrapes of the DNA of what's left of Dark Samus, and it reconstitutes. Kills all the other hunters that Samus works with. Basically, like, Metroid Prime 3 just introduces a shitload of characters so that they can all get killed, just so the stakes are way higher than ever before. Several planets blow up instead of just one planet. But it turns out that the meteorites of Phazon are from a planet called Phase that is entirely comprised of the Phazon. But it is itself also, they don't explain it this way in the game, but the planet is, I guess, a giant vagina, because it just births meteorites. Like, it is a living planet that gives birth to meteorites. And the meteorites just fly through space and infect other planets with Phazon. So, in that game, you commit matricide by murdering a planet that is a mother. That's when it gets really crazy.
It's M's.
Nisa said,
it's other M's all the way down.
Nisa said also, oh yeah, and other M actually plays into the themes pretty well too, which I went into in that article as well. That's like the most praise I give
Did you
to that
just
game.
say something vaguely positive about other M? I'm gonna kill you. I kill you now.
I am way more positive about other M than I am about Federation Force. That is by far the worst blight on the other M. Is more frustrating because it's a good idea done bad. Federation Force is just a terrible fucking idea that nobody ever should have had. It doesn't make any sense. Do you even know about the fact that Samus, like, you find out later in that game that Samus is like kidnapped and you have to rescue her like a princess?
Something like that, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I played a little bit of Federation Force out of morbid curiosity, and my take on it is that it's very clearly like a non-Metroid game that they retroactively like gave the Metroid label because maybe it'll sell more copies. So I just don't think much of it. Like, I played it for 10 seconds and was like, whatever.
It's pure producer brain. It's that same dude, because the same thing with Pinball. Metroid Prime Pinball is obviously not a Metroid Prime game. It's a pinball game, and like the studio had already made another like tie-in pinball game, and literally that producer guy was like, Metroid turns into a ball. That's it. That's 100% of the thought that went into putting Metroid branding on that. So yeah, it sold like fucking dog shit, 'cause pinball fans don't care about fucking Metroid, and vice versa.
Metroid Prime Pinball is pretty fun though. I do enjoy me a bit of pinball.
Well, because that's like the studio is actually passionate about making pinball games. So they were like, they made like a good pinball game. And then like with Hunters and Federation Force, with Hunters, it was during the height of competitive multiplayer being
it's
the big
great
thing online. And it was like competitive shooters were huge, so let's have a competitive shooter because Metroid's a shooter. And it's like, Metroid wasn't originally a shooter, and the fact that it's a shooter is something people were scared of when Prime came out, you know? It's the fact that it doesn't play like any other shooter that made it loved by Metroid fans. And then with Federation Force, it was during the height of...
this game is so easy.
Yeah,
like
Kraid
10
has
seconds.
never been a particularly hard boss. Unless you really don't figure out what to do. Like, you have to really not know that you have to shoot him in the mouth. Or if you're too busy trying to, like, time out the missiles slowly. I feel like I used to always think I had to, like, jump once, shoot once, you know?
Yeah.
And it's... You don't gotta do that.
Struggled a lot more on the NES game, but even then, I still killed Kraid on my first try. I just had to realize that bombs are way better than missiles against that guy. Because he walks back and forth along the floor, and he's constantly shooting projectiles like straight at you. So if you try to shoot
Yeah.
missiles straight at him, his projectiles will block them. So just put bombs on the floor and he will walk on them. 'Cause
In the
he's
clip I
dead.
used in my video, I think which is I believe a tool assisted speed run. No, it's not. The one I used from original Metroid is a awesome games done quick speed run, and he like freezes the projectiles in midair and stands on them, and then fires a shitload of missiles at Kraid.
Yeah, I saw that in the video. That is genius. I need to try that next time.
I'm guessing you had already beaten Kraid by the time the
Yeah.
video came out.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Um,
I would have stolen that method. I need to like play more Metroid 1 because I know now that I have like a grasp on it and like what is appealing about it, and I'm having fun with it. It's like I just like just last night before bed, I decided I'm gonna sit down and play a little bit of Zelda 1 just for funsies. Like I streamed that very recently on my channel, so a lot of the game was still fresh in my mind, and I blazed through more than half of it in like an hour. And I'm like, okay, well, like, Metroid is literally this, but a side-scroller, so if I keep playing Metroid 1, eventually I will be as good at that as I am at Zelda, and I'll be able to plow through the game in, like, an hour or two.
yeah.
It's just a matter of time. My
It's all about how
gamertism cannot
determined
be
you are.
stopped.
Like, I mean, I've something that I've felt about media for a long time it's made it difficult when like people who really agree with a lot of my older takes, because my realist take about like enjoying media is that it takes effort always. Like
Yes.
how much effort you're willing to put in will lead to how much you're going to enjoy it. It's just that sometimes media is so like likable to you that it doesn't feel like it's taking effort. Like if you're willing to put in the effort because you want the result of enjoying the media. So like, you know, you thoughtlessly put effort into it. Whereas like there's plenty of stuff that you might not enjoy initially, but if you do put thought, that's really cool. I love that trap.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, there's lots of stuff that like if you put effort into it, you might end up enjoying it. It's just a matter of you have to have that level of determination that you're willing to put up with the flaws in it. And I mean, I feel like with human relationships that all that's more obvious, but when it comes to media relationships, a lot of people just don't want it to be like at all complicated.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not in the space for your life to have a complicated relationship with a piece of media, but like, you know, if you're something like a huge lover of Metroid and you're thinking like, well, it's never quite going to sit right with me to like not have any relationship with the first game, then, you know, inevitably you're going to put that effort in.
Yeah, and it's satisfying to finally... Oh, I could have just... Okay, I could have done it from over here. Fucking... Whatever. I was wondering what was down there, and it's just a shortcut. But yeah, no, it's really satisfying to have a game like Metroid 1 where I play it a few times over the years, and I just bounce right off it. I'm like, whatever, this game's fucking old, it's not fun, ugh. It's like dated and shit. And then like I go online and all the YouTubers say, Metroid 1 is dated, it fucking sucks. And I'm like, yeah, totally. that aligns with my fucking experience. But then I don't know, just recently like I started kind of fixating on old video games again. Like I have a big old collection of old video games for those who don't know, and I was just really feeling the vibes. So my NES is always plugged in, so I started replaying a bunch of old games that I fucking loved that I bought like 8 years ago. Like Castlevania, fucking Contra, like Zelda 1, all the super duper fun stuff, Mario 3.
How do you feel about Contra? I was never able to get into that.
Contra's super
just
duper
really
fun.
hard.
It's super fucking fun, but only if you use the Konami code.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
that
get
makes
like
sense.
30 extra lives, and when you game over, it just restarts you at the beginning of the level with 30 extra lives again. The ideal way to play, for sure. But yeah, no, finally like getting back into Metroid 1 and just playing it with like the context that like the manual literally tells you you should probably draw a map as you play this. So I got my spiral notebook and I said, okie dokie, I'm sketching a map. And yeah, I found by way of doing that like drawing everything as I went along made it a lot easier to retain the information. So I was kind of like memorizing the game, and also like a lot of my memories of playing Zero Mission helped me out. Because like I said earlier, the shape of like the layout of the map is basically the same, it's just Zero Mission is shrunk. so it's
Yeah.
much shorter. And like Metroid 1 can get
And they added some stuff on, like the
yeah,
outdoor segment you did earlier.
yeah. There's new content peppered into.
Or
and so-
this definitely didn't happen in the NES game.
Yeah. Like shit like this. That's like because this stuff isn't in OG Metroid, it makes that one more simple and straightforward. So I don't have to remember as much information.
It's definitely less of a like this game is more modern in that sense that it has the joyride, or what's the word I want to use, when you're at an amusement park ride. Like, it's got a lot of different things going on just for the sake of having different things, because that is amusing in and of itself. And the original game is more like you're locked into this very specific rhythm and atmosphere, and like I definitely think that they are totally different vibes from one another. Like, the first two games, the original versions, legitimately feel like cave spelunking in a way that nothing since has quite felt like. And even though, like, I think that Super Metroid and the stuff after it have literally better atmosphere because it's more specific and more, like, rich, you know? Like, it's more interesting to look at, but it doesn't feel the same, you know, as like diving into caves, which has its own appeal. I just think that appeal has been explored better by games like Minecraft, you know, like since then. It's not what Metroid's going for anymore.
Yeah, I mean, playing this game and Metroid 1 back to back really made me appreciate how much this game altered, to the point of not just like casualizing the experience, but outright like fundamentally making it a different experience. Like, yeah. I kind of realized the appeal of Metroid 1 is nothing like the appeal of Zero Mission, and I felt a little remorseful at that. I don't think I should go this way.
That sank in for me when literally watching Metroid 1 so much while editing the video. Just like, it really started to sink in for me what the vibe of that game is overall, and like, Zero Mission feels nothing like this. But it is really cool.
Yeah, it's like,
all right.
It's weird because Zero Mission is just talked about as like, it's like so good. It's basically a replacement for the first game, because the first game is dated and sucks and you don't need to play it or whatever, and like this game will get you the same story, but like it'll be way more fun along the way. And it's that I just get that little sad feeling, like as someone who likes and appreciates old video games, I just get that like, no, you're all like kind of like you are missing something. Like, yes, this game is better, but it can, like, a remake can never replace the original. It is a different experience, fundamentally. Like, I don't know. Even if, I have, like, complicated feelings about remakes, especially
I also just think it's good to always, like, know history. I think the thing that bothers me the most about people dismissing old video games is that they act like it being immediately pleasurable is the only thing that can be good about a video game. It's like, you could also just be learning about what fucking games used to be, you know? Like, that's always been the most interesting part to me. And like, playing through Super Mario Brothers or Castlevania, you know, I had to use a fucking save states the whole time because those games are hard as balls. Oh yeah, they added in a cutscene that introduces Ridley, who I guess like wasn't on Zeb's until now, was in like a spaceship. This is not in the original game.
Is so weird getting to see him do like intelligent things. They always say he's a space pirate, but when you fight him in the game, you're like, that's a dragon. How is that a pirate?
Yeah.
You mean?
He's supposedly very cunning and very evil.
Yeah.
Alright, going back to reading the entire chat, Nisa said, invoking Anita Sarkeesian's name will just make people mad. Definitely will. But I really am, like, I have, at some point, it clicked in my head that she is, like, legitimately a hero in, like, the realm of what I do. Like, she accomplished something that I wanted to see happen, which was, like, for, like, the normalization of feminist critique, the opposite. The normalization of feminist critique in video games. That, like, because up until that point, it was, like, all dudes. Like, I made the video in, like, 2013 that was called I Crave Analysis from More Perspectives, and the point of it was that, like, it was literally nothing but bearded white dudes, like, who at the time I looked just like, you know, and I was like, why is everybody who does this somebody who's like me? Why are there not, like, a bunch of people from different backgrounds and stuff? And, like, I only knew a few women who were doing solid analysis videos of anything, and so like after Anita Sarkeesian made it so apparent, like the necessity of it, I think that caused way more people to jump in, and like start having these conversations. And it's not about whether her video series was like the best, even that it could have been, just that it was unfathomably fucking influential in a good way towards video games. Because when I think about who's talking about video games, who I can play in video games, like the amount that's changed in the last 10 years is fucking tremendous. It used to be legitimately hard to find good video games with female protagonists that were not Metroid or Tomb Raider. Now you're like spoiled for choice, or I guess like Resident Evil 1, like and 2.
The Jill sandwich.
Silent Hill 4. Like there's like a short list of like very well known, good games with women protagonists that existed before like the 2010s, but ever since the what I've been calling the representation revolution, there's just been way more. But Samus is still my favorite. Zink asked, have you gone back to Prime 2? I remember saying you didn't like it, but that was many years ago. I haven't gone back to try to play it again, but through watching all the lore videos, I was convinced that it is an interesting game. And I think what had bothered me about it at the time is that Prime 1 never stops you to have a conversation with you. All of the story is just like you have to scan stuff and you learn lore. Yeah. Whereas in Prime 2, there is actually NPCs that give you a lore dump. And tell you why you're doing this. And that had bothered me initially, but then when I watched videos that actually explain what the story is, what they're dealing with and everything, I found it particularly interesting as a contrast to all the other games, because typically Samus is trying to run the bad guys out of a place that's just fucked and nobody should live in. It was never a good place, whereas, at least not for humans. Whereas, in Metroid Prime 2, she goes to a planet where there's, a Chozo-esque species that had been living there peacefully for, eons. And then this, dark force powered by some dark force called the Aether, shows up and just wrecks all their shit and just, terminates most of the whole species, wrecks their whole fucking planet. So the planet still seems like this doomed, shitty place when you get there, but you actually can save the day, and, there's, the 12 or so of the species that are left are there to congratulate you at the end, so it's almost got, the happiest ending. It's the darkest setup, but with the brightest ending of any of the Metroid games. It's the only one where she actually just, saves the planet, and everybody gets to be happy, as much as they can with what's left of their totally fucked, planet and species. Christine says, I believe you can beat Yakuza Trixie, it just requires very meticulous playstyle. Yeah, and I'm a lot better at games than I was when I was 20 or whatever when I wrote that article. 21 probably, yeah. Ah, the high jump. This is where stuff really gets fun.
I think
Mayday from Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna read a Mayday from Space Chat about the bomb jumping thing. She said, I just thought it was a cool technique. Do you think it was intentional? I don't know many places in the game explicitly designed for bomb flying. I think
definitely intentional.
Yeah, it probably had to be.
There's definitely secrets you can only get using it.
Because this game is totally trying to be Super Metroid Light, and Super Metroid had stuff like that, like the wall jump mechanic, where it just little techniques that the game doesn't explicitly tell you about, not at the beginning at least. But when you know those techniques and you come back and play the game later, knowing the secrets, and it's oh, I can do all this cool shit I couldn't do before. You secretly were capable the whole time, you just didn't know.
Yeah. Bomb jumping is explicitly all the time necessary in Prime. So, you'll do it a lot in that game, but not as often. It's in Prime, it's usually just bouncing yourself up once to get into a thing, and then you're in it, and then you'll activate it. But then there's a few puzzles that'll require you to do a 3 or 4 in a row, But yeah, there's definitely a bunch of them in the 2D games. But yeah, I think it is almost always just for getting like secret missile expansions and stuff.
Damn. I just say, like, going back to comparing this game to Metroid 1, such a world of difference between, like, the grinding you have to do in Metroid 1, at least on a first playthrough. Like, you're gonna die, and when you die in Metroid 1, you start again with just 30 health, which is like a tiny amount. And enemies drop health at random in amounts of like 5 or 20. So if your max health bar is like 300 health, it takes a hot fucking minute to recharge. I think AVGN exaggerated. He said it takes. Someone said it takes like 30 minutes. I don't know who. It doesn't necessarily take that long.
AVGN did exaggerate it, but also in his footage, he was like trying to shoot the enemies and collect the stuff. And like when you get to a point in the game where you have the, what's it called? The move where you spin.
Oh, the screw attack?
Yeah, when you get the screw attack, it's like way easier to just keep jumping up, screwing attack on the enemy and just like get the health instantly. So like it is designed so that when you get to endgame and your health bar is ridiculously long, there's like a quicker fix for it.
Yeah. It's just frustrating with that compared to this game, where this game is constantly refilling my like weapons and health. It's just like non-stop. You get all of your stuff back.
Yeah, no, Metroid 1 is by far the hardest Metroid. None of them are especially difficult. Although I guess Metroid Prime 2 is considered... I never got that far into it, so I didn't get to the part where it's like really, really hard. But it has a few boss fights that are considered like just bullshit difficult. Mayday from Space is Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, of the ones I've played, I think Fusion is the hardest.
Fusion also, yeah, has some. I had forgotten that like that there's an easy and a normal, and that those are the two I had played. I assumed that I had gone back and played hard mode, and that's why I couldn't beat Yakuza. And then like rereading the article I wrote about it at the time, it's like no, that was just normal mode was too fucking hard. But you know, growing up, I took it for granted that I was only going to be able to beat video games on easy. So I always played games on easy mode if there was one. Anyway, Mayday from Space says, I never felt super isolated in Zero Mission with all the Chozo architecture designed for Samus. Maybe lonely seeing what was obviously once her home now empty and statues of her family destroyed. Well, and that's the interesting thing is, like, at the time, I didn't register the whole Samus is from here or descendant of Chozo, or, you know, has Chozo DNA, raised by Chozo, like, because, you know, Fusion doesn't bring it up. Metroid Prime has the Chozo as this like background element where you, again, Metroid Prime tells you no story unless you scan shit. And if you scan shit, it'll tell you lots of little lore tidbits, but whether or not Samus had anything to do with the Chozo is only brought up in like a few of them, I think. And like this game establishes it, and the manga like way goes in about what exactly happened. You know, it's like basically when she was a kid, the Chozo came, her dad ran a fuel colony. The Chozo came to the colony to ask for fuel for free because they think that they're like the saints of the galaxy. You should just bomb jump to that. That's how I did it, I think. Yeah. I think this works. It's hard to get the timing exactly right.
Got it. If I just keep trying, I will get it. It's not even that hard to do. Just gotta find the right rhythm.
Yeah, that's the other thing about like these games is like again, the controls can be they want you to learn little tricks, but they're not hard to do. They're hard to learn. You know, like it's hard to realize. Oh, I can kind of like you can almost just spam A, but you have to do it with a specific rhythm. But it's not a hard rhythm to find. You just have to find the rhythm. You know, Shine Sparking is like similar.
Yeah, I really love the part in Super Metroid where you get stuck in a hole with a bunch of animals who wall jump their way out of it, and you have no choice but to just try shit until you figure out how to wall jump, or else you're stuck down here.
Yep.
It's the best.
They teach you how, and that's why you save them at the end. But yeah, like so the Chozo came to her colony, and this is why the space pirates found the colony, and so they show up, kill everybody, and just take the fuel. And Samus's mom gets out a distress signal right before she dies, which the Chozo hear. They come back. They find 3-year-old Samus, traumatized, and they're just like, all right, we'll take this girl. I think they don't infuse her with the DNA until like a bit later when she's like a little more grown up, and then they give her the suit and they train her to be a warrior. But like the implication is sort of that like the Chozo are literally centuries old. Like each one individually is centuries old. They cannot reproduce anymore. Like they're just dying out, and they have all this crazy technology, but they're so fucking old and like lethargic that the technology is all going out of control on them, and like they don't really recognize like the problems they're causing. And like they try to raise Samus to be a warrior, but she's like too nice, and it like there's this one mission where there's these cute little critters that get like brainwashed to have machine guns, and they're causing all these problems, and Samus shoots all the machine guns out of their hands to save the critters because she likes the critters. She had like seen them before, thought they were cool. And then Mother Brain's like, you're too fucking soft, and Mother Brain just annihilates all of the critters, and Samus like flies off the handle, and she's like, fuck Mother Brain, fuck y'all. And the Chozo are like, you know what, you have too much empathy and we don't really get it, so we're gonna just send you off on your own, and obviously you're better at like being a good person than us, so you should become the defender of the galaxy. So they just give her this title and send her on her own. She's like 14, and they're like, you're defender of the galaxy, and fuck off. So she goes and joins the Galactic Federation, and just does missions for a few years. But then Galactic Federation is planning to go to Zeb's and, much like Mother Brain, just wipe out everything there. And according to the manga, there are still Chozo on the planet, which this game seems to be... the Chozo were supposed to be statues according to Super Metroid, but they come to life or whatever, because they're called Chozo statues, like in the guidebook. They weren't supposed to be alive. I don't think. Unless they were just the Chozo had turned themselves to statues, is that the idea?
That they had petrified the space jockey from Alien.
That makes sense, and so that's probably what it is. But yeah, I was always confused about when did they decide that the Chozo were ancient people who are still alive and not an ancient thing that had existed before, because it feels like that's what they were originally going for to be.
That's what I thought too, and then Dread came out and I saw Quiet Robe and I was like, what?
And it was really just because of the fact that it was because of Prime implying that Samus had been raised by the Chozo that I think that they went with that as the narrative. And then so this game and the manga lean in heavily on that idea, but this game doesn't. So and also Fusion, actually at the very end of Fusion, if you get the best ending, it shows scenes of Samus as a kid, and basically the main plot points of the manga are actually in the Fusion ending, where it shows Ridley kill the parents, it shows her get taken by the Chozo and imbued with the power suit. And then it shows her joining the Federation, but it doesn't explain any of it. It's just a slideshow. So if you hadn't read the manga, you still can't really tell exactly what all of that means, But yeah, the Dread is the first of the main the actual 2D Metroid games to actually have Chozo not as anything other than just statues in the background that give Samus her power, actual in Prime you fight Chozo ghosts, so there was an implication of there being evil Chozo, because those are the ones you had to fight.
True.
But Dread's the first one that had okay, there's this evil faction that broke away and they went off to do their own bullshit, and then they got eradicated by their own hubris, except for 2 guys, and those are the guys you gotta fight. At this sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, at this point in the narrative, the biggest risk to the universe is, Samus being misused, because she is herself so much more powerful than anything else, that, most of the villains are now just trying to get their hands on Samus to clone Samus. That is now the mission.
Yeah, Samus could solo Goku for sure. She literally says something in Metroid Fusion. It's the coolest fucking line ever. Or she said, like the SAX like is basically it's basically her at her full power, and she says it needs to be destroyed before it realizes its potential and threatens the galaxy or the universe or something. I'm like, that is so fucking metal, dude.
Which is exactly what Dark Samus successfully does.
Yeah.
So she is not wrong. And Dark Samus was inspired by SAX conceptually also.
Of course.
Mayday from Space said, I'm super excited to read more of the book. I'm waiting on the video releases right now, but I'll buy the audiobook as soon as I can afford it. Thank you incredibly much. Giga, do you know how to fly with bombs? Oh.
I replied to that earlier, yeah. I wanted to respond to some of the last chats that I just saw by Felix.
Yeah.
They said, gotta say, I don't really like this game. The bright colors and quick movement cancel out most of the atmospheric potential of Zero Mission. Feels like a worse Super Metroid to me. Like, how am I supposed to feel the oppressive atmosphere if Samus jogs everywhere like some goofball? And I gotta say, I kind of agree to an extent. I still love this game, and I do think this one is really fucking good in its own right. I just don't think it does the same things that, like, Super does, or even the first Metroid. And, like, if I had to criticize this game, that definitely would be a big one for me, is, they're like, this is Super Metroid Lite. It's not as good as Super Metroid, and a lot of what I dislike about it just comes down to it being on a handheld. Like, this is a Game Boy game, so that, like, the Game Boy Advance didn't have a backlit screen, so all the colors have to be super saturated to compensate for how dim it looks.
Which I love about the Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean,
it's the Game Boy Advance color palette is like one of my favorites because, like, and it is really like very contrasted with Super Nintendo, right? Because almost every Super Nintendo game has a darker color palette because on a cathode ray television, the fucking light of the sun is blasting out of the back of it. But on a Game Boy Advance, there was no original backlight, and then even when they did add backlighting, it looked cool to have the games like pop super hard on it. But it's actually honestly a big part of why I generally prefer the aesthetics of GBA over Super Nintendo is that they have the brighter stuff. Now, this does not apply to Super Metroid versus Zero Mission, but that's only because Super Metroid looks ridiculously good. And like the Game Boy is like the Game Boy Advance is almost like a pocket Super Nintendo, but not quite. It's not as, I don't think it's as like graphically capable as a Super Nintendo.
Really? I think it's more. I think it's vastly more capable. It's just
interesting.
Well, it has different strengths is what I would say. Like, it doesn't do the same things the Super Nintendo can do, but on average the pixel art looks way more detailed in GBA.
I feel like the pixel art in Super Metroid looks more detailed than Zero Missions does, but maybe that's just those two games.
Compare like the still images from like the cutscenes in Super to the still images from Fusion. It's like night and day. Fusion looks way better. It's insane.
Interesting.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I actually assumed that the GBA was a 32-bit console. So I'm like, whoa, it looks twice as good as a Super Nintendo. But that is not the case. It's more like a slightly
Super Nintendo game, but I played the GBA, so.
Like, I think I told you earlier, I didn't have any Game Boys at all when I was a kid. I got all this stuff when I was a little older and started collecting retro games.
Yeah.
My first handheld was the DS Lite. I had games like Yoshi's Island DS, which is kind of like a Super Nintendo game, but the sprites are all fucked up and mismatched and weird.
Felix Fids also said that Fusion is amazing, though, in contrast, and likes the American comic book aesthetic of Fusion. And also that Dread made Metroid into Star Wars, which is an interesting statement.
What, because of
you just mean because of the Luke, I am your father scene? Yeah.
I am your bird dad.
No, I'm assuming they mean more aesthetically, because it does have that kind of like... Well, both Fusion and Dread, to me, it's interesting that they've gone in the like spaceship direction, as opposed to this game. To me, I wrote an article about this game way back calling it biopunk, and like what I love about this game in specific is the biopunk aesthetics, that everything's like gloopy and alien, and like, the original game actually is even more like weird and like blooby. Like, it feels I mean, I guess it's closer to like looking like H.R. Geiger-esque, but because it's just so like, it's NES graphics, so it almost looks like nothing at
Yeah.
all. Like sometimes it looks like the floor is made of bubbles, and I'm like, why is the whole room made of bubbles? Like this is such a weird, surreal feeling. And this game like clarifies it a lot more so that it feels more like you're like just in a literal cave, but that the cave is full of just like all of the weirdest monsters in the world. And like the parts where like you have to just wait for these bugs to like eat through the big fucking like lung thing or whatever the fuck, like that kind of shit is what really I love about this game, is the weird little moments where the creatures and the environment like almost doesn't seem to be even acknowledging you. It's just doing its own thing, but it happens to be deadly for you, you know?
Sorry, sending an important text.
Oh, I see. I'll continue. But yeah, so like to me, I think that the original Metroid and Zero Mission have totally different aesthetics, but I value both of them quite a bit. I think the original one might be more interesting in retrospect. Like, I think this game, like, reading back my old writing about it, I feel like I was much more intrigued by the aesthetics of this game before maybe seeing a lot of other games that did something similar. You know, maybe there just weren't as many games that had this, like, weird, grotesque, alien biopunk feel circa the 2000s or 2010s than there are now. But and also like to me playing Super Metroid, maybe it's not that it like looks better, just that I think it is more rich aesthetically. Like each
Yeah.
zone has such a very specific vibe, and there's more zones, you know, there's just it's a bigger game. I want to say it's like twice as big as this game, right?
Oh, for
Like
sure. Yeah. Super
so
Metroid
that's
is
probably
just
the biggest part of it.
yeah. I just think of like this game being worse than Super Metroid to me is not that. It's not like a heavy criticism because Super Metroid is
No.
just peak. It's just like yeah,
It's one of the best games ever made.
like
Yeah.
I don't expect most games to look as good as Super Metroid and like that's why like Dread. Well, as much as I fucking love Dread and I've played it like 100 times since it came out, Dread can never be my favorite Metroid because the visuals and especially the music do not fucking touch Super. Like not even close.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big thing for Metroid. Like, it's such an atmospheric. Again, these games are not hard. They're interesting. They're
Yeah.
cool. They got neat aesthetics. They got interesting tone, and like, they played at the strengths of video games really well.
Yeah. That's another criticism I would levy at Zero Mission, and this kind of applies to Dread as well, which is like making the games faster, making Samus like heavier and all that stuff, and like it just Metroid 1 and 2 and Super, they're all very like quiet, lonely, isolating experiences where I am just feeling the tension and the sense of adventure and exploration the entire goddamn time. Whereas with Zero Mission and Dread, these games have been like so smoothed out and are so convenient with how like they constantly give you like, recharges, refills on everything and like filling out your map and shit. It's like the games are constantly providing you with things that make it a smooth ride. So
Yeah.
as fun as that is, like I love smooth games. Like I will play it on loop forever. I'm doing it right now. But at the end of the day, that will never leave the same emotional impact on me as a more like thoughtful experience, like a slower thing. It's like Zero Mission, like Super Metroid is the game that like when I play Super, I need to like set aside a couple hours for the evening, say, all right, it's time for some fine dining. I am locked the fuck in. Whereas Zero Mission is the game that I play mindlessly while I'm waiting on my breakfast quesadilla at Wawa.
Yeah.
Also, the
I think
music
I
in
say at
Zero
one
Mission.
point-
I just want to say the music in Zero Mission is really fucking annoying if you play it on a real GBA. Those speakers were not built for this music. It sounds like butthole coming through that chiptune sounding ass.
Damn.
Sounds like a car ran over it. It is not good. It sounds way better in this emulator than it did on my Game Boy. I promise you that.
GBA is not known for its sound system being particularly good.
Yeah. Where the fuck am I going?
Yeah, my take on this game overall is that it was probably intended to be Metroid for babies because, like,
yes,
it's
absolutely.
Metroid 1 existed in so many forms by this point. Like, again, like we already said, you could play it in Prime. I think you might have been able to unlock it even in Fusion. I'm not sure. You could unlock it in this game. They had just re-released it on the fucking Game Boy
Oh,
Advance
duh, I'm supposed to go
before
down. What? I don't know.
Um, so it wasn't about giving people the chance to play original Metroid. People definitely could. It was about making it easy for newcomers so that they would then take the skills they developed in this game and then go play Super Metroid and then go play, you know, Fusion and all the other shit.
I'm supposed to go
I
in the hot
think.
rooms, aren't I? Shit.
Like, because, it is ostensibly. Like, the fact that they called it Zero Mission to me always implied that they wanted you,
I know
like,
it's
they
right.
wanted to be sure you played this before Metroid 1. Like, they did not want you to think of this as, oh, this is like a replacement Metroid 1. They wanted you to think of this as before this is the Zero Mission. This is the absolute start. You have to start here, you know? And I think if you do start here, it gives you the opportunity that you're going to have better and more fleshed out and more varied experiences when you go into the other games. Majin Weeaboo said Gigadonk's camera looking like the GBA screen under a sunbeam right now.
Earlier today, so like yesterday, I was playing Super Mario Land 2, which I'd never played before. Pretty short game, super duper cute, super fun. It's like Super Mario World, but tiny. And I played it on my TV with my Super Game Boy, which is the ideal way to play most Game Boy games, because you can customize the color palette and you can see the screen. And the final level was super hard, and then I finally finished it after like 20 attempts. And then I decided to try beating that final stage on a Game Boy Color just to see if I could. Had to position my Game Boy just right so the sunlight hit it to where I could see the screen without the glare overwhelming it. And I did it. I beat it again. And then I tried to play it on an OG Game Boy with the puke green thing with like the really bad ghosting where everything on the fucking screen turns into a blurry mess the second it starts moving. The original Game Boy is a piece of shit. I genuinely don't know how anybody lived with that thing. Before the Super Game Boy, like anyone who had an original Game Boy was just
Wait,
suffering.
this is Super Game Boy?
Yeah, so here, it's right here. I'll show you.
I'm gonna be seeing this a bit late because it'll have to show up on the stream.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it's this
have
goofy
Kronos
thing.
camera.
Yeah, so it's basically like a Super Nintendo cartridge that has another cartridge slot in the top of it, and you take your Game Boy games and you stick them in the top there. Put that in the console.
Oh, okay. I do know about
Yeah.
this. Yes.
The ideal way to play most Game Boy games.
Okay, that makes so much more sense now. Yes, I understand.
Why the fuck is this enemy here if I can't go through the wall? What is your purpose? There's no hole in the wall that I can go through? Why the fuck? There's like a gap in the map there. Why else would they put this enemy here?
I feel like I should go on record at this point because Felix Viz is saying, I see why people like Zero Mission, Returns, and Dread. I just get nothing out of them personally. And like, I wouldn't expect anybody individually to like every Metroid game, even if they're like the ones that are supposedly the good ones. Like, there's also people who love Other M and who love like it. Well, I haven't met anybody who loves Federation Force, but I'm sure somebody's out there who's like, it's just a solid game, like. But like, it's just as easy to be like, yeah, if it's not literally perfect, I'm not gonna like play it 1,000 times. Like, the difference between like an 8 out of 10 game and a 10 out of 10 game could be literally like thousands of hours of you playing it, like you play a game that you appreciate and think is good, and then you're like, well, I reached the end, I don't really feel much of anything, but whatever, that was a fine game. And then like you play a game that you're like, I never want to stop playing this, and then you don't stop playing that, and so I feel like, I don't have very many games that I've like come back to over and over again. For me, it's Metroid Prime. And like, even though I've played most of the Metroid games, I have come back to the Game Boy Advance games specifically more times, but that's because I had them when I was a kid and they're handheld and they're short, so it's just like, you could burn through Zero Mission a billion fucking times. It's easy, it's short, it's like you said, something you can do mindlessly.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned in Samus versus Samus at one point that like I imagined the perfect scenario for like being like having Metroid on you as somebody who's really good at it is at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like it's depressing. You don't want to be there. You don't want to think about the circumstances. You need something to do with your hands. Just break out, and you're going to be there for hours, you know? So break out Metroid. You could probably clear a whole game in the time you're waiting for your fucking, you know, to be seen at the hospital or whatever. Like, so, and it's just atmospherically perfect for that. It's not like too bright and sunny, but it's also not like horrifying, you know? It's not going to remind you of the trauma you're in, but it's also not going to feel like tonally dissonant from what you're experiencing, you know? It's trauma core, is what I'm trying to say. It's good trauma core media.
I guess I play Zero Mission when I need instant gratification. I just need
Exactly.
to get into a video game, tear it to shreds, and get out really quickly. It's like a 2-hour game.
Give me dopamine now.
Super Metroid's like the opposite. Same with Metroid Prime, because I kind of suck at Metroid Prime, and I always forget where the fuck I'm supposed to go. I need the game to remind me.
I've got most of Prime logged into my brain at this point, except for like the later game stuff. Because I've played through the early part like a billion times since I couldn't get through it. And the later part I've played through like twice.
I did play a bit of Prime this morning, actually, because I listened to Chapter 4 of your audiobook, where you talked about how, if you know what you're doing, you can quite easily loop through, like, the Chozo Ruins, like, get all the upgrades you just lost, fight the boss, then, like, you can either go straight to Magmore or go back and collect all the stuff you missed, and then, like, loop all the way back around to Talon Overworld, and then come back out to, like, the back entrance of Magmore, and I did exactly that. All of that stuff is all that I did. I just sat down, played Prime for an hour, and I felt like I was blitzing through the game faster than I ever have before. It was really fucking fun. Played it on my Switch.
Is trauma core a real term? It's about to be. I haven't quite decided exactly what I think it means. But to me, trauma core is like media that like isn't explicitly about trauma, but is so like thematically, you know, like in that realm that it's like Metroid, you know, like there's always some kind of trauma at the heart of what's going on in Metroid, but the game doesn't really speak on it very much. It just like lets you experience you know, like a situation that I think people who have experienced trauma can like automatically connect with somehow, you know? Like there's just certain media that is just always going to appeal to people who are think like a fucking anything Tim Burton's ever made would be trauma core. Like, hey, are you the kid who had like a little bit of a weird upbringing, you know? Here's some movies about what that feels like.
Oh yeah, someone
obviously it's going to be really hard to like to like, as the more people use the term, the more people will decide that it means something different, but I feel like we could hash out like a general aesthetic of a trauma core. If you can feel the connection between Metroid and Tim Burton in that space.
Yeah. Someone in the chat earlier asked what we think of Castlevania. I think didn't we talk about that on literally the last stream we did?
So you like to play Castlevania? Probably.
Like essentially we just prefer the old, more arcadey, like Castlevanias, and everything from Symphony of the Night onwards is less engaging.
We're not as Egavania fanatical as we are classic.
For me, it's Castlevania 1, 3, and 4. Those are the absolute bangers. I could play those over and over again. And while I'm hyper-fixated on old games, I plan on purchasing the Game Boy one, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge.
Oh.
So they say the first one on Game Boy is Turbo Butthole, but everyone likes Belmont's Revenge, so I'll try that one. What else was said in the chat that I wanted to reply to? I forget.
I don't know.
I'm looking at
Majin
it.
Miyabu said, Prime is so
Uh-uh.
good that once I was missing a single missile tank, and rather than go back to every missile location, I decided to immediately play it again. Awesome.
Yes.
I've never gotten 100% in Prime. I don't think. I'm sure I missed at least a few things that I saw in a video later and went, how the fuck did I not...
I don't think I've
think to do
100% at
that.
any of these games, to be honest. I tried it with Super one time and just got bored.
You are way more of a speedrun type player, I've noticed. Like,
Yeah.
similar to my brother Victor, because he never... Like, it's not that he won't do side content or isn't interested in it, but his goal is to beat the game. Like, he sits down with the game and is like, I'm going to play this game until I beat this game, and then I'm done with the game, and then I'm going to do something else, you know? Like, even if that's just beat another game. Whereas there's some people who I feel like they want to take their time and get, like, absolutely everything, which I'm closer to that. I'm more of, like, I don't necessarily try to 100% it because I'm not, like, gonna dedicate any more time than exactly how much I have fun, you know?
Yeah.
But I generally don't want to be, like, stressed through a game experience. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm trying to fucking, you know, rush through this. I want to feel like I can just take my time and have fun. It's gonna go at a natural pace, and then it'll be done when it's done, you know?
Yeah, I've never been the type to play a game and try to squeeze every drop of content out of it. I just engage with the parts that interest me. And as far as most games go, like, when side content is introduced, I will most likely assume, for no reason, I will just assume, oh, that probably sucks, and ignore it. Like,
all depends on the game, because sometimes it's
yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah,
like,
that's like most, especially like AAA games now. Most of them is like all the side quests are just like the filler that they put in there so they can say, oh, our game is such and such hours long. It's like, yeah, it's padding. It's not fun. Like, I think, did I bitch about the last Spider-Man game on the stream yet? It's like,
I know I've heard you could play, but I don't know if it was on the stream.
it's probably in Discord. Yeah, the fucking, I love Spider-Man, huge fan, and Spider-Man fans are nothing if we're not complainers. And everybody complained a lot about Spider-Man 2.
For good reason, from what I hear. The Spider-Man has not been treated that well as a franchise all the time.
Well, you say that, but then, like, I look at the state of things right now with Spider-Man, and I see this as, like, far and away, like, we are the most spoiled fandom. Because Spider-Man is constantly getting, like, every time he gets a new movie, it's like $1 billion huge success, so they get, like, 1 billion sequels and spin-offs. There's, like, there's, like, 4 different canonical Spider-Men getting movie series, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like, 2 of them, their movies died because, like, people say, like, oh, their last one sucked, so they stopped making movies about them, and then they came back for the fan service. Shit's crazy. And the new video game that came out a couple years ago is Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. And I played it, and I thought, you know, this is really fucking cute. I had a great time with it. I love that they, you know, Spider-Man's voiced by Sasuke, and in Spider-Man 2 he gets the black suit, and he's all edgy. So he's literally doing, like, Sasuke voice screaming about how he's gonna, like, kill everyone.
Awesome.
Goes insane. He's like, he, like, goes berserk when someone, like, captures Miles and hides him away in some prison somewhere.
Wait,
he, like, tears the place
Ridley
up, screaming.
still wasn't here yet?
Huh?
I didn't realize Ridley.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize Ridley still wasn't here. Like, you're just, like, Ridley literally shows up and then fights you. Like,
yeah, he just got here. He's, like, running behind. He just got here super late.
so
Last
funny.
possible.
Why
Shit!
did they just
Sam was almost to my life. Shit!
just to hype you up.
Yeah. But yeah, you've got fucking Yuri Lowenthal going, like, full tilt into, like, evil Spider-Man going, where is Miles? What have you done with him? And it was a good fucking time, and I completed the game to 100% because it was easy to do so. Spider-Man games are easy.
I didn't know Yuri Lowenthal is who plays Sasuke, but that makes so much sense because that dude has been at, like, every con I've ever fucking been at.
Yeah.
Like,
he's Ben 10.
Routinely at cons. Oh, that makes even more sense.
Yeah, he's Ben 10, Spider-Man, and Sasuke. That's why.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no, that fucking game, like, I thought it was pretty good. Everyone else was shitting all over it, and I was like, damn, Spider-Man fandom is so fucking cooked. These are the most spoiled fucking brats ever. Imagine what fans of The Flash are feeling right now. Like, he gets one movie, and it's a giant piece of shit.
Miller.
They look over here and see us with our mountain of gold, saying, oh, this video game was subpar. But then, I played the game again, and I noticed something. Like, I was having fun maybe 20% of the time, if that. I didn't feel like doing any of the side quests again, because most of them are just talking. Just standing around listening to people talk. I like...
Ooh, big fucking bee.
Yeah.
See, that was a spooky moment.
It's so gross.
And that thing is fucking, yeah, grotesque. Horrible monster. This is what I mean about the biopunk. Like, this is all so weird and, like...
Yeah.
Nothing looks like this, other than other games that have now attempted to look like this. Like, I think like Zeo Drifter is like I made this video called Ways to Clone Super Metroid once, but like in retrospect, Zeo Drifter might be even more like Zero Mission, just aesthetically. Good game. It's even more like arcadey and just like a 2-hour blast through type thing.
Yes.
Doesn't have as much variety in its bosses though.
Crash landing.
Have you ever played that game, Corona?
What
Zeo
game?
Drifter?
No.
Zeo. I think you'd enjoy that. You could probably get it for like $2 if it's on sale or something. But
I see.
it's on it's probably on the Switch. I know it's on the PS4 and Steam.
Oh yeah, but finished cutting my promo on Spider-Man 2. Just fucking I was one of the people who was like, we got like 50 fucking Spider-Man games over the years of like varying degrees of quality, because it was always like some fucking Activision slop pushed out every year, and some of them were good, and some of them were not, And I was like, when is Spider-Man gonna get like a AAA game like that, man? It's not fair. Now he's got his AAA games. I got the monkey's paw curled, and now I have a game that is so fucking like it's like first party, maximum budget, minimum deadline, fucking like the most rushed out shit, where now we are stuck with a game where the production value is insanely high, the game map is huge, you can move really fast, the boss fights are full of spectacle and awe, but the things you do in that game are fucking boring and have nothing to do with being Spider-Man. You play a mission where Peter says, I just got a job at a lab, I better walk around the city doing these little fucking puzzle games about doing experiments on plants because I care about nature, and like, why are you doing fucking it's like some shit like a slide puzzle or something, and it's like, I've got to figure out which genome matches to which coagulant. I don't want to die. Not what Spider-Man does. I'm just like, I don't know.
Do you have a favorite Spider-Man game?
It's either Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2 or the Miles Morales game on PS4.
Interesting.
It's gotta be one of those. Well, because, like, the one on PS4, like, the fucking... Okay, here's how I differentiate the ones on PS4. I call them Peter game and Miles game. So that's what they are.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon Red and Blue. You get Peter and Miles. Yeah, no, the Peter game's good, but it like... I've just played it so many times, and it has too many obligatory like story sequences where you just are Peter Parker walking through a room, and like that shit's boring as fuck after the first run. Spider-Man 2 does that way worse. It's like requires you to talk to everybody every time you play, and it's agony. But yeah, the first one's just a little like the story kind of sucks and just doesn't really hit me that hard. The Miles game, the story also kind of sucks, but like, I don't know, it just, like, the side quests are good, and there's a bunch of them, and if you play the Miles game and do all the side quests, when you finish the main story, it'll feel a lot more gratifying, because all those NPCs that you helped in the side quests, like, are a part of the finale. Like, they all prop Miles up and say, like, that's our Spider-Man, and you're like, yeah, I am. I know these guys. Like, they see Miles with his mask off. It's not even a question. Like, a bunch of reporters and cops show up like, oh, did you get a look at his face? And they're like, nope, didn't see none.
Good.
It's fucking awesome. It just, I don't know, it just feels more like low to the ground, more real.
I guess like most celebrated from Spider-Man would be like the PS1 game,
That one is
which
fun.
I played on N64 as a kid, and that was like the first real exposure I had to Spider-Man. Um, and I also had the Spider-Man Game Boy Color game, which fucking blew ass, and I don't think I could beat the second level.
That's pretty epic.
Uh,
Not gonna lie.
And then, fucking, I know that Spider-Man 2 on PS2 was like always considered
Yeah.
like the greatest, like in terms of the movement mechanics, at least until
Yeah. The physics
Until
are
Insomnia-
unmatched. To this day, I'd
Insomniacs.
say the physics of Spider-Man 2 are unmatched.
even by Insomniac on the new games.
Maybe the very newest one. It's just like, I don't know, the very newest one kind of fucks it up by giving you like a glide button. So it's like, why the fuck would I swing when I can just glide? Because flying in a straight line is so much faster than swinging in an arcing motion. It's just objectively better than swinging. So like, I feel like in Spider-Man 2, I'm just flying like Iron Man half the time. Just kind of meh. Oh, Bird's here.
Hello, Bird. Hey, is our internet out or something? Being difficult? I can't be out because I'm still talking to Chrono, but somehow I've lost my connection to the live stream chat.
What the fuck?
I've been watching Alita Battle.
Oh, nice.
They should make a sequel to that movie.
They should. Have you seen it before? Cool. Have you finished it?
Yeah, I just finished it.
Awesome.
That's why I came in here saying they should make a sequel to that
You should definitely read the manga. Is it Chrono? Aren't you a fan of the Battle Angel manga?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Chrono's a big fan of the manga as well. It's originally called Gunma.
Gunma. Gunma.
Gunma.
Gunma. Yeah, I've seen the anime OVA and the live-action movie. I saw that in theaters, actually. That was really fucking funny. I brought two of my friends,
I did too.
and both of my friends were pissed. They're like, that movie blows ass. And I was just like, I thought it was interesting. You know, I think I'm going to read the manga now. And the manga was a masterpiece, so I guess, walked away from that.
Yeah, the movie
you know.
did its job, at least.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty mid, but the imagery at least had me intrigued enough to be like, I should check out the source material and see if it's better. Because there are interesting ideas that just had been Hollywoodified down to being kind of like dumbed down.
I had seen the OVA from the 90s
Yeah,
and been
think
a
I
fan
watched
of that.
right before going to the movie, actually.
And then I had the first volume of the manga, and I think it was just like more. It was, at least the first volume is like more of that like Fist of the North Star kind of like 80s, like this is just like super violent and pulpy, and it's just like big guys killing each other kind of thing, like more so than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so I didn't end up continuing it. But then I always heard from people that like, oh, you gotta, because like, you know, it just becomes so incredible as it goes.
Yeah, the manga goes through like different phases where Alita, or Gali, if you prefer that name, she goes through quite a few different metamorphoses. She changes very much as a person from like arc to arc. It's like she'll start out very naive, and then this chapter she's like hell-bent on revenge and she's gone fucking crazy, and then this chapter she's like more mature or whatever, more reserved, like just different phases of life and adolescence represented through a badass manga about robots slicing each other up.
Very cool.
It's really epic.
My fucking internet's being weird as shit. I have not been able to read the chat because YouTube keeps like just losing my internet connection.
Weird.
It's amazing to me that I have had no troubles with this Discord call.
Apparently it's YouTube's fault.
Oh, is YouTube just like fucked right now or something?
I don't know. Someone in the chat said YouTube's being weird. Or two different
Huh.
people said that.
Well, shit.
Strange.
At least they still seem to be able to watch the stream though. I'm like fucking. Oh my god! I finally got it in. I'm in.
We're in. And it's fucking Ridley time. Bum, 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 bum.
Well, and I haven't seen that much of it either, but it's just not my like. It's like,
Shooting me.
especially traditionally, I'm into cutesy shit. Like, you know, like at the time that I was trying to read Battle Angel Alita, I had not read a lot of like violent, you know, macabre or even old manga. I might have had like read Berserk, but that would have been like it.
Yeah, you're definitely.
Berserk was always like,
Sorry, I
what's
was
that?
totally gonna interrupt you mid-sentence, guy.
Um, well, you just killed Ridley, so I
Yeah.
feel like you should interrupt me mid-sentence to address
Yeah.
that.
Just addressing the fact that like you're right about this game being like baby's first
For babies.
Metroid. It's an intro for newcomers to the franchise, because coming to this from Super, where Ridley was like far and away the toughest fucking boss ever.
Yeah.
So we're to the point where
I
like
was thinking, like, wait, was Ridley always that fucking easy? Like, wait, hold on.
it's like in Super, I literally had to like I had to leave the boss fight and then collect every missile I could find and then come back to the fight.
Yeah.
And then this game's just like, whatever, fuck it, just spam missiles. He's dead. It's over.
Yeah, the boss fights leave something to desired, and something to be desired in this so far.
Especially when there's only like 4 of them. Only one is remotely challenging.
I guess there's all those like weird little mini bosses if you want to count those, but
Nope. Didn't count. Really, Nintendo? You goofed up. What the heck, man? What the freaking heck?
Felix Vid said, if I hadn't randomly found the 4th volume somewhere, I probably wouldn't have liked it so much. And that is a nice thing, I guess, about like a lot of older media, I feel like was not created under the expectation that people would consume literally all of it. So like there was like more of a, hey, if you didn't like the last story, come in on this one, you know, like
Yeah.
maybe you'll find what you like. I feel like Osamu Tezuka's manga are very like that, where like different arcs and chapters of Astro Boy have like very different tonalities, and it's easy to see why like the Pluto arc is the one that got like adapted into its own separate show, because like reading Astro Boy, like sometimes it just feels like you're reading like a sci-fi comedy manga, but then the whole Pluto arc is like the genesis of the like Dragon Ball Z style, like, all right, there's 9 strong dudes and they each have like a different power level, and like someone's trying to kill all of them, so it's just all these fights between the strongest robots that exist, basically. And like, you know, that just became shonen formula almost from that point on. But like, you could read that and be like, oh, Astro Boy is like the OG Dragon Ball. Or you could read like a different chapter that feels nothing like that at all and be like, oh, this is what Astro Boy is. Like, no, Astro Boy is many things. Blackjack is many things. Golgo 13, Lupin the Third, all many things.
Lupin.
Lupin Sensei.
Lupin. Berserk is funny because it starts out as bloody guts fuck edgy, and then it's just guts learning how to hang out with and look after these random kids.
For sure, it's meant to be, I think, about like rebuilding your life over and over again, and like finding the willpower to do that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful moment when you get like halfway through the series, or more like 2/3 of the way in, and then Guts finally starts to have that feeling. He like reminisces about like his old friends, his old found family. He's like, I never thought I would have this feeling again. And he's like, I just want to cry.
Yeah, that to me is like that's like the core of Berserk's arc. Is this guy is just like living the worst imaginable life, but he keeps surviving and keeps struggling on, and like honestly like kind of finding ways to enjoy it more. Like I feel like even though he's experienced way more bad things by the time he's older, he also is just like more prepared for it and like more capable of enjoying the good stuff that he had been, because when he was younger he just didn't enjoy life at all. Like he was just an angry fucking dude, you know, like. And then he like finally made friends. They all got taken away from him, so he's like even angrier. But then he makes friends again, and it's kind of like, well, now I want to value these friends even more, because if I did lose them, like I know how painful that is. So, you know, I don't want to be living with all these regrets. It's a good fucking story.
It was one of the best stories. Like we've been doing that like manga book club thing in the Discord server. and I was pleasantly surprised to see that my pick won the vote, which was Soul Eater, but I would not have been upset at all if Berserk had won the vote instead, even though I've read it a bunch of times already.
When is Soul Eater starting? When is that begin?
We have started it. We're still in the first week. All we're doing this week is the first 3 prologue chapters that just establish the main characters.
Yes.
So I think that's what we agreed to, is we'll do like 1 arc per week, based on what the fucking fandom wiki considers an arc in Soul Eater.
Interesting.
It definitely divides them up differently from how I would. Oh shit, I just killed that thing. I was trying to use it as a platform.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing about the screw attack.
There we go.
Granted, it does let you jump infinitely as long as you can nail the timing.
Nope, that's the space jump. Screw attack doesn't do that.
Oh.
Yeah. Metroid 1 didn't have the space jump, so in this one, you don't unlock that till like the very end. It's like a little bonus.
I see.
Where the fuck? Could have sworn there was like a hidden energy tank in the wall somewhere. Oh, it's probably off to the
still
right.
being weird as fuck for me.
Wait, what?
I said YouTube is still being weird as fuck for me and giving me like a hard time fucking
Oh,
being able to
cringe.
view the chat.
Very cringe.
Yeah, I don't get it. Let me try another website. Make sure it's really YouTube's. Yeah, Blue Sky's working totally fine.
Yes.
It's definitely YouTube being
Freaking
fucked.
love Soul Eater. It's funny reading through the manga again, because I haven't read it since like 2020, I think. And,
I'm sorry, you said Soul Eater, and I thought I'm still in a dream, Soul Eater, which is just not correct.
Yeah, what the fuck are you thinking of?
Snake Eater.
God damn it. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna say something Soul Eater related. I don't fucking know. It just made me
You
think
love
of
Soul Eater.
just made me think of songs from Soul Eater.
You said songs from Soul Eater, and my brain foolishly went, "Do the impossible, see the invisible." God damn it, no.
You've lost your anime brain, probably for the best.
The same composer, it's not the same show.
See the
Soul Eater's
impossible. Row, fight the power.
Soul Eater's rap is so scandalous, so cool they can handle us. So scandalous.
Is that Soul
Love
Eater?
that one.
Is that not
Yeah.
also Gurren Lagann?
Nope, that is not in Gurren Lagann.
Okay. Okay,
Very
yeah, you're
similar
right,
sound.
you're right. It's the fucking like episode title card.
I'm only so confident about this because I made a whole video about Taka Iwasaki and I used both those songs in that video. But check that out, people. Go watch my old Taku Iwasaki video. He did Gurren Lagann and Soul Eater and Gatchaman Crowds and Katana Gatsuri. All great soundtracks. Probably a bunch of other shit that like has come out since I made that video because it's like a decade old, but it's crazy how few energy tanks there actually are in this game.
Yeah. I
mean,
usually
guess
beat
it
it
is
with
really just that short. I mean, you're like practically at the end of the game, right? You already
Yeah.
beat Ridley. There can't
Yeah,
be that
I'm-
much left.
I beat Ridley and Kraid. I just have to go to Tori and do the rest of the game. But
Beat
that,
Mother
I'm looking
Brain.
for. I could have sworn there was another fucking like energy tank somewhere that you can only get after getting the screw attack. I'm just like, it's got to be
See,
in between these hallways somewhere.
I mean, at the top there is is open circle that you haven't collected yet.
It's true.
And there's also a gray room that you haven't been in that could have something. But there would be a circle in whatever room that you that there's an item in, right?
That's the thing, is there's also like secret hallways that aren't marked on the map until you enter them. I think that's what the green rooms are on the map.
True.
Yeah, no, my love for Soul
yeah,
Eater
finally
should
got
be
that.
apparent to anyone just because I named myself after one of the characters. Like, that shit means a lot to me, which is why it's so it's so awkward now, and like everyone's reading the manga now, and like I'm like, gosh, I hope no one is judging me for like being such a huge fan of this, because I'd forgotten just how much gratuitous like fan service there is in the manga, And I don't mean
Yeah.
like it's like it's not like I'm
It's the way it's drawn is like
yeah.
over the top. Like everything's spilling out of everywhere type.
It's not even
Particularly
just
with Blair.
yeah, like I don't even give a fuck about that honestly. Like I'm not like some huge like oh fan service will totally ruin a series for me. Like sooner or later it just becomes white noise, but like that's probably not a good thing. But like the issue I take with Soul Eater is that it's primarily done in a way where the gag is just like a guy non-consensually groping a girl just because. And the girls don't react to it.
Yeah.
They're, like half of the time they just don't care for some reason. Like they're just like, oh, like I don't know, Death the Kid is just up to his usual tomfoolery. He's being an idiot. He's like obsessed with symmetry, and he says even your boobs are different sizes, and grabs their boobs.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why did you need to grab their boobs? The fuck.
It's very, very anime in that way. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times with anime, like they want the characters to express themselves in a way that is deliberately like it's not supposed to be behavior that you're meant to like relate to or congratulate. It's meant to
Yeah.
paint the character as like being a weirdo, but also in a way that's like part of the point is that you get to see like the author wanted to draw the girls getting their boobs grabbed, you know, like that's at the core of it is oh there you go.
Yes. Okay, now we go to Torian.
Caterpillar asked, is the Naoki Urasawa adaptation of Pluto good? He's one of my favorite authors, but I've never read that one. I'm not a huge Urasawa fan myself, and I haven't read it either, but the anime adaptation that Netflix did was one of Bird's favorite anime. So he gave it the endorsement. I'm going to say it's solid. Caterpillar also said it's a really good analysis of Guts' progression. Why, thank you. I'm so good at analysis. That's why everybody should buy Samus vs. Samus for $5 on itch.io if you haven't itch.io if you haven't already.
Very clean.
Can you guys play my homebrew Game Boy Color game? Maybe.
That could be funny.
You have to organize that kind of thing with us off stream.
I'd be down with that. I love Game Boy games.
Touch the untouchable, fuck the unfuckable.
Yeah, I just wish anime and manga didn't constantly do the thing of like, I don't know, just like presupposing that every male character is inherently instinctively like perverted. It's like, oh, of course guys are into this. They all love the titty. All their noses are bleeding. Like, do we have to do
Lapusha
that every
asked, do you
time?
think we'll get a Soul Eater Brotherhood one day? And I think this is literally the reason we won't. Is that like being more accurate to the manga will not automatically produce a product everybody's like. Fullmetal Alchemist the manga like was one of those where I'm not going to say it got better as it went or anything because I actually don't think that. I just think that it told like an epic story that was like one big arc and it felt complete. And so like the fans of the manga were satisfied with it all the way through as like this is one of the greatest manga of all time. So it made sense to adapt it again. You know, with Soul Eater, it's like they ended it in the wrong place because they ended it right before the best fucking arc.
Yeah.
But then after that, it doesn't get better. It doesn't become like an even more amazing story. It's just like at best like as good, you know. And it's mostly good for the action, which is already great in the manga. Like, I think Atsushi Okubo is just one of the best action illustrators, period. And, like,
yes,
even
absolutely.
Fire Force, like, Fire Force is not as aesthetically interesting as Soul Eater. Its characters are not even as interesting as Soul Eater. Its world building's not as interesting, but the fights are fucking awesome. Like, it's
Yeah.
worth reading because the fights are amazing. So,
Genuinely,
if you like fighting, you know.
like in terms of how the action is illustrated and how like your eye is traced along the page like following the action, I think Soul Eater does that maybe better than any manga I've ever read, which is insane because Dragon Ball did it like immaculately well.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
No, Soul Eater has like the best flow of fights I've ever read.
Yeah.
Or not even, I should say Fire Force, because Fire Force is the one where like there were so many page turns that legit like stopped me, where I was just like, oh shit, you know, like that fucking rules, and like
Yeah.
it wasn't ever just the image, it was the way that the previous page led into that image, that made you go like, oh, of course it would hit like this,
Right. Now that said, if there was a Soul Eater Meisterhood remake, I would be totally down with that. I'd be happy, both for the sake of me getting more Soul Eater content to consume, and also for the sake of younger anime fans getting to find out what the fuss is about. Because I don't think Soul Eater is really talked about anymore the way it was in the late 2000s and 2010s. Like, I don't think it's as relevant.
It's an interesting one. It was never like a huge deal. It was always like one of those, like if you're into anime in the, the 2010s, you might know Soul Eater, but like
it was the first show we watched in my high school's anime club.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like, because it's in the same category as like Naruto and Bleach of like, it's a shonen manga. You could feel that, but it's also like, because it's aesthetically very older teen, young adult, then like, like the characters have great fashion and it deals with like psychological themes. It gets really violent, the bad guys are like really evil. So Hunter x Hunter is also a good comparison. Like, if you enjoy like a Naruto or a Hunter x Hunter, there's no reason you wouldn't enjoy Soul Eater. But if you just categorically don't enjoy that type of anime, there's nothing that makes Soul Eater like better other than the aesthetics and the themes. Like, the psychological themes are the part that gets to me the most, but they're not that prevalent through the whole show. Like, occasionally it gets really psychological, but it's definitely not like the core appeal. It's
they have
the cool aesthetics and the action.
They have the finale where they just fucking hammer the theming into your head. Just say it out loud what it's about. It's like that versus the
awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Soul Eater anime
totally
versus manga is really just like the difference between, do you want the theme served to you on a silver platter, or do you want everyone to ramble incoherently about the philosophy of the themes ad nauseum? That's kind of what the manga does.
Yeah, I mostly remember all the fights. The arachnophobia fights were so sick.
Black Star versus Mifune, unforgettable shit.
Black Star versus Mifune, fucking Death the Kids fight, and I remember Keelik having like a really badass fight.
Like the part where they confront the Tanuki girl too.
Like, the most frustrating thing about the anime is that like the last 10 or so episodes of it is like they introduce all these characters that are about to be super relevant for the next arc, but they don't get to do anything for the anime's over. They're just like, oh, all these neat new aesthetic characters who are now, you're never going to learn anything about them unless you go read the manga.
Yeah, they use all
but
the
the anime also
proposes
proposes an ending, so it can't like they kill the bad guy, so they couldn't continue the manga. Like, they couldn't just pick it back up, like, and it I think Soul Eater literally ended, like, I think that show single-handedly ended the trend of anime original endings, because it was so fucking unpopular.
Yeah,
like,
it's not good.
Anime original endings were very normal for a long time, and I think they used to do it because the mentality was like, well, you're supposed to read the manga, like, you're not supposed to, like, we only ordered one season of anime, we're not planning to bring it back in perpetuity, because the point of the anime is to advertise the manga. But more and more now, they'll just adapt one season of it, and then, like, if it's popular, a year later they'll do another season, and then if that's popular, a year later they'll do another season, and then when it finally stops being popular, they'll just, but like, typically if the manga is popular enough to get a long anime adaptation, they could both probably succeed to completion. I think it's hard to even say, because a lot of these long manga are like I'm thinking about something like Dr. Stone, and like, yeah, the manga's over, but the anime's still going, and we don't necessarily know that they'll complete it. I think they will, because it's fairly popular, but these shows have to stay popular for a fucking decade, in order to keep getting made. So,
My Hero Academia is about to end.
And the manga's been over for a while, so like, that's another good example. And Studio Bones were... So, like, Bones and Madhouse were the worst offenders of the whole making up their own original endings.
Bones
and
did
Madhouse...
Full Metal and Soul Eater.
Yeah, exactly. And those were not the only ones either. Like they had.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Just
to
the
remember
two most
which other one
noteworthy ones,
explicitly.
probably.
And like around the same time as, because FMA, you know, was 2003-4 for the first anime. Soul Eater was 2008-9, I think. Maybe even started 2009.
Something
And
like
then I
that.
think Brotherhood started like the same year, or the year after.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a year after Soul Eater. So I think they learned their lesson so badly with Soul Eater that's why Brotherhood got made.
That's really funny.
Like, we need to stop. We need to stop with the original endings. But around that same time, Madhouse had made Claymore, which also was like 13 episodes following the manga, and then they just like made up a bunch of bullshit. Everyone hated it, and it made the manga impossible to continue. But Madhouse had the mentality of, well, we don't return to stories. Like, we'll do a season of a manga if they commission it, but we don't want to have to make another season unless it's Hajime no Ippo, which they were willing to do forever. But then Masao Maruyama stopped being president of Madhouse, and they totally changed that. So now they make stuff. Both Madhouse and Bones are now like, just, yeah, we'll make a season every couple years or every 6 months or whatever. And that seems to be pretty standard procedure.
Yes.
I can't remember the last time I heard like a widespread outcry about an anime original ending.
Just fingers
Since
crossed that
Soul
they'll do
Eater.
it to Chainsaw Man just to see people rage about it.
Ah!
People were actually begging
That's
for an
another-
anime original ending for Attack on Titan. That was so fucking funny. People
That's
hated how the
hilarious.
manga ended so
They
bad.
they did actually change some aspects of the ending for the anime too.
A little bit,
Like,
yeah.
They tried to make it go over better, but
Mostly just removing the line where Armin says, "Thank you for committing genocide for our sakes." That was horrible.
yeah,
Maybe-
Attack on Titan was a bit of a confused mess of a series.
It was so close. It was so close to being like the coolest thing. It's funny because most of my friends will tell me like, "Yeah, I liked Attack on Titan, but I kind of lost interest when it got all political and boring." I'm like, "That's the best part. It was like the best part. It's just the ending that bungled
Depends
the
on-
politics."
Depends which part they mean, because like when season 3 was political, I thought that shit was boring as fuck. Season
yeah.
4's politics were super exciting and interesting to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
But then yeah, the very ending was fucking just not. It was just like, yeah, so fucking convoluted. I really think that like Attack on Isayama, like his mentality towards what is a good story is that there must be like a lot of it, you know, like.
There's
Just
also,
he made it as complicated as it could possibly be every single step of the way.
yeah, I think a lot of fantasy writers have got it in their head that like good writing is when story is really well planned out and like thought of ahead of
Yeah.
time and full of surprises and twists that like make sense in retrospect.
Yeah.
And even in that
Which
regard,
Isayama wasn't well enough prepared for, so he just started. He kept having to retcon things in order to set new things up that he would be able to pay off later. And it's like some of that led to some cool payoff moments, but it also just means the early story is like even more transparently dumb because you obviously didn't know all of what you were gonna do
yeah.
when you wrote these early parts.
The worst is definitely introducing the idea that like a certain character could just see the future since like a long time ago and was like
Yeah.
making decisions because
Wait,
of
what are
the
you grinding
future
for
they
right
saw.
now? Look, you have everything full.
It was just like it's like time travel shit. Like this
Okay.
retroactively makes zero fucking sense now. that was
This
my
is it, game.
biggest complaint. Yeah, this is like the final
Yep.
fight.
This is a way better ending than Attack on Titan.
This isn't even the true ending.
Arguably.
It's like a whole epilogue.
This is
after
a absolutely hellish challenge, by the way. I'm actually lying. This is a terrible ending, but it's a great ending and a terrible experience. I'm sure it's not nearly as bad as it is in the original game, where watching AVGN do it, that just looked like absolute hell.
Yeah.
Just having more precise controls in this game gives you so much more ability. Also, it seems like the bullets move a little slower. I'm not sure. Those bullets are not moving very quickly.
Mm.
The fucking Psy beams, though. She's literally using psychic on you.
Ow. It's like she closes her eye every time I take damage or something. Die!
I love how her music is just like a 4-line bass, like 4-note bass riff, just
Yeah.
menacing, like Godzilla sounding.
Yes! She's dead!
Yeah. Fucked. And she just blows up. Yep, alright, you're done. Get the fuck out of here. So much less eventful than the Super Metroid ending. This technically isn't even the end of the game yet, though, right? Because there's still the
Nope.
whole Zero Suit
Fucking
bit.
God! Stop falling! We're cheating now, we're cheating. There we go. Technique. 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 Mayday from space, are you still here? Did you know you can wall jump in this game? Did you ever figure that out? It's really helpful. Also really fucking hard to do on a Game Boy. You have a tiny Game Boy in your hands. Like adult hands with a baby-sized Game Boy. The thing is so tiny I can hold it with one hand, which is really convenient for Pokemon. Not so much for an action game. That's why I have a Game Boy player and I can play these on my TV if I want through the fucking GameCube.
Mayday, I'm not sure what Stat Pig is. King's Arc and STATPIG. It's basically the potential I thought AOT missed with Aaron's future sight. STATPIG. Star Trek and the pick of pigeons in Galloway.
Oh, it's her. It's Zero Suit Samus. She's real. She's canon now. Nothing we can do about it.
Mayday said I tried doing it up one channel with 2 of the turtles for a solid hour or so, but couldn't land it. My comic Star Thief against the PIG. Oh, okay. I've never seen you abbreviate it, but that makes sense.
I see.
Hyping everybody up for the comic. You can read that on Blue Sky, right?
Okay, see, look at that ass though. Look at those butt cheeks. What the hell?
Yeah. So this is where they decided that Samus was just going to be in a perpetually naked state for the rest of her existence.
Stripped of my power suit. Oh yeah, she's stripping all right.
Stripped of my power suit, I could only fight with my ass.
This is pretty fucking cool though. Just that they bothered to do this at all. It's like, why don't we have like a weird epilogue where you get to stealth your way through the end of the game? And this also establishes
it was
where
awesome
the
in this
crash
game.
ship came from in Super Metroid. It's like not even something they had to provide context for. They did just for funsies.
It's the fact that like they finally gave her a crawling animation, which is funny because like the whole reason the Morph Ball exists is that Nintendo did not know how to animate a crawling animation. Which is, thank God for that, I guess.
Foreboding.
Yeah, they gave her a crawl. They made it so she could still do all her whippy flips even outside the suit. So you're like, okay, Samus is still like an insanely badass acrobat. She's just like squishy,
Yeah.
And I like that she's got like a cool stance. Like her sprite does not feel nearly as sexualized as the image did that just was her ass that you saw a minute ago. But I feel like that's the image that that all of the fucking Smash team was drawing from when they created her. They were not looking at this. They were just looking at that ass shot.
If you go through Samus's voice clips in Smash, like I think it's Smash 4 was the first time they let you do that, like you can go through audio clips and just listen to every character's sound effects. You just go to the random button and mash that for Zero Suit Samus. Her fucking all of her sound effects are like you're mine. It's like the most like sexual sounding. The only other character in Smash who sounds that sexual is Luigi. I'm not joking because I tested them all.
Samus really says "you're mine" in Smash.
You're mine.
I hate that. Why does she say that?
Because for the Gooners, they were programming her with one hand when they made Smash Bros.
Fucking, it sounds like she's reading off one of those little heart, like Valentine candy hearts.
Yeah, and Luigi's the same way. You play all the Luigi sound effects in a random order, and he goes fucking bang bang.
Bad Luigi. Luigi's okay to sexualize. Samus is not.
I want Luigi to be my trad wife.
If you're into guys like Luigi, you deserve representation.
And I was so like, it really took me a while to warm up to Mario when I was a kid. It's like, I didn't have like Mario 64 or like any of the older games. My first Mario game was probably Mario Sunshine, which was like cryptic and hard as shit. I did not like progress in that when I was little.
I've still never really totally warmed up to Mario. Like, I appreciate Mario more than I like it or him.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I love Mario now.
I like
but-
that he is the mascot of video games because I think he's
Yeah.
just like a really endearing like idea of a character. But I've never gotten big into Mario games.
Yeah, it's just like I grew up with stuff that was like Mario adjacent, like Mario Kart and like Smash Bros. And
I do like Mario Kart and
Yeah.
Smash Bros, but I never liked playing Mario and Smash.
yeah, it was like I first learned about the Mario cast by playing Mario Party 7, which is an ass game, but I liked it when I was little. And just had like
I
all
played
the
plenty of
characters
Mario
in it, so that's how I learned who they were. And I mean, because of Smash Bros and stuff, like I didn't give a fuck about Mario because he was just like a human guy. I liked Bowser. Like Bowser was my shit.
Yeah.
So he was like a big fucking turtle
Everybody
dragon with
wants
spikes in his back. He was
Bowser.
awesome. And like I grew up with the Sonic games. Like I didn't have old Mario games. I didn't have Mario World or Mario 3. I had Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. So to me, it was like, you know, which mascot is better? Well, that's obvious. It's the cool fucking furry character who runs super fast, not the old fat guy, the old human being with a mustache. Like, if you're gonna put a human character in a game, they had better be super cartoony and young so I could project onto them as a kid. Otherwise, like, I would not give a fuck. Like, I didn't even perceive Mario when I played Smash Bros. When I was little. I was all about the Pikachu and the Donkey Kong and the Yoshi. I didn't.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah, I didn't understand
saw him
the
as just like
context
a
or any of that.
boring, normal, like human character by comparison. But
Yeah. I had to fucking play the games for myself as an adult and really let them warm up to me.
I think I had like an amount of respect for him as like, well, this is Nintendo's guy, you know, so like I
Yeah.
can't hate on him, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like, you know, I'm in it for the Pokemon.
I think the first time I started recognizing Mario as like his own important thing was when Smash Bros. Brawl came around and they added Sonic to that game. So I perceived Mario as cool in the context of him fighting Sonic. Just like these were two
That's
like
fun.
longtime rivals who can now finally like fight.
The fuck are these lights that keep appearing?
The searchlights.
They're like, it looks crazy.
Look at those graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
It's from like that Zelda rap commercial, right?
Yes. The Legend of Zelda is really rad. Those monsters from Ganon are pretty bad.
Classic.
Something
Looting
something
and
levers
looting
and
is not the
Octoroks
way. Here's what Captain Planet has to say.
I love
Mayday
weird
said
old
these
video
enemies
game
remind-
commercials.
These enemies remind me of something I wanted to say about the biopunk aesthetic. I really like how crustacean all the aliens look. That with the deep sea vibes, Zevs has something as a fun combo. It makes me think maybe it was originally underwater and like this planet has dried out, so like all of the land creatures have evolved from sea. I mean, you know, obviously we all evolved from the ocean too, but like maybe more rapidly. You know, they only had land in the ocean, but then it started to be that those creatures had to adapt to life on land or something. And you're in caves, which is kind of like, you know, water had to create those in the first place.
Yeah.
We need to get Zack Snyder on his Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games movies. That would be fucking awesome, actually. Zack Snyder handling Sonic characters would be epic. I can't hold on much longer. I will never let it go. I know it's a one-way track. Don't know how long this lasts. I'm not gonna be dissuaded, nor will I count on others. Close my eyes and feel the burn. Now I see what I've gotta do. Open your heart, it's gonna be alright.
Oh yeah,
Open your heart.
I need to get back to streaming Sonic games on my channel.
That's a good idea.
I did like a week where I was streaming every single day. And I've been
Yeah,
slacking.
that was badass.
I've been slacking.
Shit. It's alright. I did my Metroid video and then I had to fucking evaporate for a minute because I've been just doing too much work.
Yeah. It happens.
And now I'm still on the promotional tour. Chozo Ruins? This is fucking Metroid Prime. What the fuck?
What the fart?
It is pretty fucking nerve-wracking how they have you like right in front of these guys running from them. Like, they are on your ass.
It is evil. It is truly evil. Caterpillar in the chat says we should have every game ad just be freestyling again.
I'd appreciate that personally.
Yeah. Particularly like dorky white guys with inch-thick glasses pushing their glasses up their nose as they're rapping.
Like white kids even. Like, they had to be like 10, right? Like...
Yeah, they're like 13-year-olds going like, oh, dude, new Nintendo game, Legend of Zelda. Whoa, I want to get my hands on that game. Look at those graphics.
You gotta admit, those kids were rad as fuck.
They're so cool. They make me think of, there's this video of Scott the Woz. He's like at a con or whatever, and this like fan like recorded him. Like he like goes up to him. The guy recording is black for context, and he goes up to Scott and says, "Yo, Scott, you know you're my N-word, right?" And Scott just shakes his hand and looks at him like all like forehead wrinkled and goes, "Sure." Like has the look on his face of like, I need to watch what I say or I'll get canceled.
Did you bounce? Yeah, I was gonna say maybe if you bounce across the walls it'd be easier.
Fucking
No, it doesn't look like
can't
it.
get enough traction. You haven't changed to rock solid just so I can get a little traction.
Krona, are you familiar with the song "We Didn't Start the Fire"?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the Fallout Boy version of that song? Where they rhymed George Floyd with Metroid?
Don't remember that.
That happened.
That's really
It was
funny.
something George Floyd, something Metroid.
What the fuck?
That's their summary of current events, you know. Oh, damn.
Found me. Piece of shit. I did this like 2 days ago and didn't die a single time. This is crazy. So much harder when I'm
stress of
talking
being
about
alive.
fucking Scott the Woz and George Floyd. Not the best topic for. God
We
damn it.
didn't rhyme it with Metroid. It was fucking. Wow, you freaked out and did that in a second that time.
Get me out of here, 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 get me out of here.
I refuse to believe I cannot do this any longer. Therefore, I can.
Bitch.
Oh, you had to make him fall.
Ah! Get away!
Oh! Fucked up they can hit you like that. Oh.
Get away from me!
So fucking anxiety addled that it's even making me freak out. I'm like, you gotta get out of there.
Where did I go? What the fuck?
Oh my god, you've ended up back. I think.
What
no, you're-
happened?
Wait.
Yeah,
This
I'm back
looks-
here.
Oh yeah, I guess just because you hadn't gone through the whole room, then that's why it's not all on the map yet.
Get away. You fuckers. I hate so much. I'm gonna die.
I have this Dragon Ball Z themed R&B song that I wrote. I've been trying to figure out where's a good place to premiere it. It's only maybe 10 seconds long. So I'm gonna go for it. It goes. That boy blew on my bigelow till he was green in the face. A cute little shorty, so that why we call him Dende. I stay feeling this margin, boo. You stay krillin' this cutting too. I be grilling them heavy when I hit the Kamehameha. Ha! Anyway, that's my Dragon Ball themed R&B song.
I'm crying. It was beautiful.
I want a chance to sing that in chorus with someone, like I get a whole like four, like a barbershop quartet to go together. Never blew on my bigelow till he was green in the face.
Fuck. I done did the poop shitty. Yeah, this is the easiest Metroid. They made this one for babies.
Yeah, this part is like by far the hardest part.
Yar. Pixel perfect.
Ulamu Ui said, I never understood why they named the move Kamehameha after a Hawaiian royal person. Probably just a word that he thought sounded cool. The main, half the main characters are named after either underwear or food.
When you put it like that, yeah.
Or even like the concept of lunch. You got like lunch, bloomers, vegetable, rice. Gohan just means rice. Goku, I think, means like... I think Goku is like one of the only names that has like a meaning that is even a little bit more meaningful than... and it's just that he's like named after Son Goku from Journey to the West, which Dragon Ball is in some small way a Journey to the West adaptation, according to, depending on who you ask. I would say it's more of an inspired by than any sort of like legitimate attempt to adapt it, but you got Sayuki for that. Yeah, fuck you, get out of here. And this segment is definitely longer than I remembered too, like regardlessly of the deaths.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of this. Somehow it was easier when I played it on a real Game Boy.
Toriyama's wife thought it was a fun word, if you recall correctly. That sounds likely.
Haha, savor.
Kamehameha. Kamehameha.
Why is that statue so cunty? It's doing the same pose as Josh in that fucking Drake and Josh meme from like some years ago. Like it's like a scene. It was just an entire scene from the show that became a meme for some reason, where it's like Drake and Josh are building a treehouse together, and they put up the final wall with themselves inside of it, and then Josh is like, "All right, let's get out of here," and he like tries to walk out of the treehouse and can't. Just like walks into the wall, and then he goes, "Drake, where's the door hole?" So it's right there. I drew it in magic marker. You're supposed to cut it out with the power saw. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna." Okay. So go get the power saw. And he's like, "Fine." And he like walks into the wall, looks around, and goes, "I see the problem." Oh, do ya? My favorite.
I think they meant this statue actually, the one that's laying on the ground.
That one's that's way more cunty for sure. It's definitely what they were talking about. But my favorite variation of the Drake and Josh meme was when they someone made an edit of like that cutscene from Symphony of the Night. Like where he does the whole speech at the beginning of like, "What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets." They fucking edited in like Drake and Josh sprites and added that weird reverb effect to their voices. Just like this tinny, echoey, "Drake, where's the door hole?" So fucking funny to me. Like positioned Josh as the boss fight like Dracula. god. Memes were so fucking stupid. They still are, but like the memes that got popular in like the late 2010s, very vivid in my mind back when I was still kind of keyed into that stuff. It's like my last year of high school was when, like, the Harambe thing happened. That made me so fucking mad. It was the worst
I'm trying
fucking
to think,
meme
like,
ever.
when's the last time I even like saw a new meme? I think memes might be either memes are dead or me being off Twitter has removed memes from my life entirely. But
It's for the best. Yeah, I'm always completely fucking confused. Since getting out of high school, I've been perpetually confused by all the new memes. Like, the newest one right now, like, the kids are saying 67. I still don't understand what's funny about 67. I
like
don't know the
Soldier
context.
67 from Overwatch,
Fucking
isn't that his
idea.
name?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't understand anything. I like that those pirates can shoot each other. It's funny. Get away, get
Holy
away.
fuck, this segment really goes on.
Yeah.
These space
Oh.
pirates want your ass badly.
Oh god. Okay, they just decided to stop seeing me and I got through that door. That's good. It's like doing stealth in Skyrim. They just decide you don't exist after a little while. Like, crouch and shoot someone in the dick with an arrow and they go, what was that noise? Oh, I guess it was my imagination.
The Pusha said that's the trade-off. I assume that she means about like being off X, meaning I don't get to see memes. But personally, I've never been into memes. Like, there's maybe like one or two memes that have ever come out in a year that will appeal to me, and like it's usually like really broad structure memes where like you could apply a billion different things to this and it'll always work. Like, those are my favorites. Good meme needs to be
Dad.
versatile.
Remembering Bird Dad.
Like Mind Expansion meme. That was a good meme.
Yeah. That one was pretty good. I hate the context behind the Ugandan Knuckles meme, but the character itself is really adorable, and I kind of wish I had a plushie of it.
Oh, I forgot about this. What the fuck is this about?
This boss
I thought
fight
you
is-
fought Ridley again in this segment for some reason.
Yeah, it's just this weird shit.
I totally forgot about this. Like, I'm vaguely remembering it, but I'm like, damn,
Ow.
surprised this completely exited my brain.
Fuck. I keep shooting myself.
Oh, I see. What a trip.
It's bizarre.
So is this some kind of evil Chozo thing or what? Like, what
Uh,
is this fucking thing?
I think it's just a test. It's like a test to like give you a new power suit. It's like an ancient, like different power suit that's compatible with like the ancient tech that I collected. It's supposed to provide context for why Metroid 1 has no like gravity suit or whatever. It's just like outdated tech that you didn't have access to before now. What the fuck? Get away! Ah! I'm gonna die. Oh, fuck off. The window is so tiny.
Damn. I gotta go pee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't show me the cutscene again. Fuck off. Ow. Fucking stop. To be like moving around tonight. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Fucking got it that time. Give me my thing. She got the butt cheeks.
Holy shit, you did the whole thing in the time I peed.
cheeks.
Very fucking clean. Metroid.
Unlock all of those fucking things that I had that were incompatible with the other suit. There we go. The transformation.
So this is the suit that you're losing at the start of Prime.
I have the power. Yeah. Here I go.
Except you don't have all those power-ups, so it still doesn't make any fucking sense canonically, but whatever.
They made it worse. They made it make less
shit.
sense.
And
Metroid
literally
Prime is
none of them make
objectively
any-
a piece of shit
Ev-
game because it fucks with the canon. It breaks canon with the games that came before it. Therefore, it is a piece of shit video game.
I think every single one of the Metroid games after 2 has fucked up the canon. Super Metroid fucked up the canon because why are all the space pirates alive? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Fucking
Super Metroid
Fusion.
completely breaks canon with the first game. I already killed Mother Brain, and now she's back? Fuck you, Nintendo. I want my money back.
yeah, they don't have to make sense.
Can you
They're just
imagine
good.
like knowing one of those fucking gamers who's like, yeah, I play video games for the storyline, but like in 1986. It'd be so funny.
They existed, I'm sure.
They sure did. They absolutely did.
Because they had like text adventure games back then, so there was some like, even like a Yahtzee Croshaw is almost like an example of that type of a person because like
Yeah.
he was just more exposed to like story-centric games from a younger age, I think, than most, like, especially because in Europe, just like there was a lot more of those types of games coming out on like consoles like the Commodore 64 that just weren't like as popular here, where there was that's not a good example of like one that was more story driven, but there were other things. I'm trying to remember the name of like one of those computers, like game consoles that is also a computer that was more popular in England than here. Somebody probably knows what I'm talking about. Definitely cute that they give you like the most, disempowering, terrifying, anxiety-inducing like run of the game, and then it's just like, oh, okay, you did it. Now you just get to fuck around. They're still giving you super missile tanks at the end of the game for some fucking reason. I don't know what you need them for, but
That's important.
sure, why not?
Fuck, I get out of here. I need to get back to the ship that's over there. Okay, I'm going the right way. Just gonna keep mowing down everything in sight. And it's like the victory lap. They depower you, piss you off, have you fight all these stupid, annoying assholes, and then you get to just completely plow through them.
Shit.
This is what makes video games satisfying, is the sense of progression, that growth over time.
Plowing.
Plowing. So the game has to make you feel a little shitty so that it's more gratifying when it feels good later. Games with no friction are no fun at all. I will say I'm not like the type of person, like I'm not a proponent of like, oh, games need to be like unforgivingly hard or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. I just play games if they're good. The difficulty isn't really a factor for me. It doesn't like excite me that a game is hard. Yeah.
Sometimes a game has to be hard to be good, and not all the time.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with it being a part of, like, a game's artistic identity, that it is a hard game. Like, everything doesn't have to be for everyone, but I do think, I generally lean more on the side of, like, I do prefer when games have more options and not less. Like, to me,
Yeah.
the best is when you can customize the difficulty for yourself.
Why is this guy so much fucking stronger than all the other space pirates? What was his fucking deal?
That thing's like the toughest fight in the game. It's tougher than fucking Ridley, I'm telling you.
He was an elite.
Fuck off. But yeah, like, that's something I think, like Naughty Dog games have been doing really well recently. So those aren't for everyone because a lot of people don't like the whole cinematic, like, movie style of, like, video game. I like them. But, yeah, when I played The Last of Us Part 2 and saw there was a difficulty slider for, like, every feature, I was like, oh, thank you. You cracked the code. You figured it out. This is the best. I want less resource scarcity so I can use my weapons more, and to compensate, I will just make the enemies tougher. There you go. I made the game more fun without dumbing down its difficulty for myself. That's the kind of shit I want to see more of. Like, video games have
I'm
been doing
curious,
stuff like that for years. Like, there are ways to tailor your game so, like, the player can decide how hard they want to make it on themselves. Just need more of that, please.
You're entering like a whole new thing now.
Yeah. It's like fucking, oh Jesus. I know fucking Miyamoto agrees with me. That was his, like, thought process with making Super Mario 3. So that game is hard as tits. Have you ever played Mario 3 as a platformer?
Yeah.
That game
I
makes
can't
my thumbs
get very
hurt.
far.
But that's why Mario 3 includes the fucking warp whistle. Like, you can just skip over shit. Not to mention all the, like, power-ups, all the free power-ups you get. Really want to, you can equip the one item that lets you fly forever, and you can fly over a whole level. The little, like, clouds you can use to like skip a level completely.
The fact that you can shoot missiles at that robot to make it walk faster is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that guy's from Super Metroid, the little trash can robot. I love him. It's because this is the ship. If you remember on Meridia, this is the crashed ship from Super.
Oh,
Those robots are on
okay.
it. It's where Fantoon resides. No idea what the fuck Fantoon is or where it came from. It's like the ghost of, like, an ugly fungus thing. And then they brought it back in Other M, which was so bizarre. None of the legacy boss fights in Other M make any goddamn sense. Like, they bring back the gravity monster from Fusion. It's like, how the fuck? What?
Yeah, I love how, like, while Metroid is, like, ultimately sci-fi themed, it also has so many weird, like, magical realism, like, ghosts and shit in it. Like,
yeah.
fucking Chozo Ghost in Prime and, like, Fantoon and Super, and, like, stuff that's just there's not even an attempt to explain. I'm sure maybe actually Prime might have, like, a log that explains the Chozo Ghost or something. What happened? You were at the ship. Did it not let you in or something from that direction?
Yeah, I think I need power bombs or something. Let's see, did I miss anything important? I don't think so. I think I need to keep going up.
This section really is, like, way more extensive than I remembered it being.
Yeah.
Like, adds a whole almost, like, fourth onto the game.
It's taking a lot longer because of how many times I died. Like, I swear this took me less than 20 minutes last time I did this. Just my experience with Metroid is so different when I'm playing, like, in front of people while talking versus when I'm playing by myself for fun. When I'm by myself, I'm just focused on the game and I'm, like, plowing through it at light speed. So I can just concentrate more on what I'm doing physically.
That's why it's a good thing we've been trying to keep to play games you know extremely well, so that, like, the that little divide of mental faculty doesn't create, like,
Yeah, I don't
doesn't
wanna,
make it like pain
I don't
as
wanna
an
make
experience.
it, like, unwatchable.
or just unfun to play. Like,
yeah.
the biggest reason I don't do this type of thing, like why I don't usually play the game and talk at the same time, is that I just won't have fun doing either thing. Like, when I'm talking, I end up wanting to concentrate on what I'm saying, and same with the game. And
For sure.
'cause we did it with Pokemon, and, like, I didn't expect Pokemon to require much brain space for me to, like, play, because it's it's not a very physical game, but it is a very thoughtful game. And so like if your conversation turns away from the game, suddenly you can't think about what you're doing in the game anymore, and like it becomes suddenly difficult in a way that it had never been. So you don't get power bombs till the very fucking end of this game just to open yellow hatches?
Basically, yeah.
Amazing.
Very last progression item. Okay, what the fuck is this room then? Has to be something here.
Try a power bomb.
Ah.
Yeah,
There we
in
go.
in general in Metroid games, the power bomb is the like, if you can't figure out what to do in a room, if you power bomb it, you will figure out what to do, or else there's nothing to do in that room. Like,
I really love that whole, like, you know, some of the old people would say like, oh, Metroid, that's the game where you shoot every wall until you find something. And then I went into like Super Metroid with that mentality and like being like, surely I don't have to shoot every wall. And there would be certain rooms that you walk into where like it's just a tiny square and nothing's in it, and you're like, okay, well this, like a room like this one, I'm like, this is easy. I'm gonna shoot every wall in this room because it's fucking tiny. And then sure enough, you would find like an E-tank or something.
yep.
That's why Super Metroid is a masterpiece. Because
It's one of those things though where like when I was younger or like first starting the game, the expectation that I might shoot every wall in the game just sounded totally unreasonable to me, because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a whole game world and I've got multiple weapons, but like once you realize, okay, the game world's not necessarily that big, it doesn't take that long to shoot every surface in the world, and again, if you have the power bombs, you will reveal everything. And like,
the game
it's just one of
makes
those
it
things that
easier
sounds
on
way
you.
harder than it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah. The game makes it easier on you as you get deeper into it, and you don't even have to shoot every wall. Like, eventually, when you get the
It's
wave
usually
beam,
pretty obvious, like
Yeah.
through the way the level's designed, that like something's fucked here. You know?
yeah, exactly. And like even then, you get the wave beam later on. Like that shoots through walls. You can reveal like everything way faster. Like this. Now, oh man, I can't wait to like get through all of these mainline games and just like compare and contrast and talk about which ones I like and which ones I have issues with. I mean, I like all these games to different degrees.
I knew it. You do have to fight Ridley again in this fucking
Yeah.
game.
And this is quite honestly the most
That noise.
yeah, they didn't even finish like greasing his wheels. This is like the most pathetic boss fight ever. Look at this shit. Eh. Oh, it's dead.
Wow.
So stupid.
I just wanted to put Metal Ridley in there.
The space pirates
It's
are
not
tougher
even
than-
like similar to the Metroid Prime Metal Ridley either.
Yeah, like did they put his brain in a robot? What the fuck is this? It was assembled so hastily it crumbled to bits like right away.
Now we're doing the. I thought we were already doing the evacuation bit earlier. Now we're doing the evacuation bit. Okay.
Yeah, it's the real one. I feel like they just
This game
wanted
is
to
very strange pacing.
Yeah. I feel like they just wanted to shove Metal Ridley in there to be like, oh, isn't it fucking cool how, I don't know, like you're so powerful now. You got the fully powered up gravity suit and everything. So you feel like a god, because Ridley used to be this really intimidating foe and you just like decimated him. But I'm like, that was the intention. They should have made the actual Ridley fight harder, because this game makes Ridley seem really pathetic. Like, I fought that dude twice, and he was kind of a pushover.
Also, it's just weird that like him being souped up in metal seemed like he was in a diminished state, and not like
Yeah.
stronger.
It seems as though they just dug his corpse out of the lava and then shoved his brain in a hastily constructed robot. Like like I said, they didn't even finish greasing the wheels in that thing. It sounded like garbage. It's like an old station
Yeah,
wagon.
it said it was in pain. It wanted to die.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Ah, stop hitting me. You know, the real toughest fight is actually at the end of all this, when we get back to the ship and there's like the pirates guarding it. Those guys are the real final boss. There we go.
Come in, Simon, but we're at the very end. It's almost cleared.
So close.
At the very least, it'll take less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know how close of a cut they tried to make it.
Oh my god. Move. Fat robot, move. Eh. Everybody die. Everybody die. Chat, is Samus dark woke?
Dark Samus is dark woke. Power bomb.
I don't know if that did anything.
Shit.
Oh my god, I
Thought
can't
that
even
was what you
shoot them.
needed.
Fuck off. No. There. God damn.
Holy
He's
balls.
trying so hard.
Okay, I guess you just had to. Ah, one of them was in your ship. That's fucking hilarious.
Like I murdered him.
Oh, that is such a great way to end the game. That's hilarious.
Just had to kick him out of that
You're
ship.
still fucking trying on you. It looked like your ship came out of like it had a layer around it or something. That was not sure what was going on. Oh my god. Gang.
Exploding.
Gang, gang, gang.
Lapusha says, "Hey Giga, have you seen Mad God?" I have. Movie was crazy. Need to watch it again. It's been a while. This game rules. You know, I watched Mad God when that was new. I got like the free week of Shudder subscription just so I could watch that fucking movie. It's the Phil Tippett movie where it's all stop motion. It's like a guy who did a bunch of like puppeteering and like special effects work on a bunch of movies like Return of the Jedi and some other shit that doesn't come straight to my mind. Yeah, Mad God is just like a stop motion movie about hell. It's just hell, seeing hell for like an hour and a half, and it's beautiful and haunting, and I love it.
So
Very
next, AM2R.
Yes, because I've played Metroid 2. I've played the original, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I like it, but it got 2 remakes around the same time as the fan remake and the official one by Nintendo, and it's. The goal with AM2R was to bring Metroid 2 up to the same standard as Zero Mission, and I feel like they did it a pretty fucking good job. I would say AM2R might even be better than Zero Mission, and I would love to revisit that game and play it on the stream as opposed to either of the other two. Like I feel like the original Metroid 2 is just so, I don't know, like it's just kind of slow, and like I would have to have a walkthrough open the whole time.
It wouldn't be that fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah. All the
It wouldn't
areas
be
look
like
the
a
same.
flashy game to show off, like playing
Yeah.
that way.
It's not very exciting. It's more of a slow, methodical kind of game, and I don't want my first playthrough of it to be on a stream.
For sure, no. Yeah, that would be good.
The alternative is
But yeah,
Samus Returns,
AM2R would be
which
fun.
I don't even know if Samus Returns would work well on an emulator, and if it did, I wouldn't want to play it that much because Samus Returns is pretty mid, honestly.
It's very odd. They changed the controls in ways that just made the game feel like different
Yeah.
from Metroid, and more like its own kind of 2D action game that, it's like somewhat like Metroid, but not quite there. Hey, no hat. Not quite the Oh, you were so close.
That was very close, yeah.
3 less minutes and Samus would have taken the whole suit off.
So close to seeing her
54%.
boobies.
Not a lot of items collected, but the clear
Yeah, like,
time.
it's like half of them. That's pretty good. I got all the All the energy tanks I
The
needed.
next mission.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Love this shot.
And now we get to play classic Metroid. Nowhere to go.
Amazing. Well, I'm gotta go do other things. So this will be all. This game does look. It looks different, actually. This is
Looks very different.
like it looks stretched out for the GBA.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right.
I've been playing this on like a CRT on original hardware. This feels wrong. This feels like a sin.
But yeah, I do really appreciate just how fucking weird the graphics. Like, look at those weird little heads there. Like, what the fuck? That is so creepy. And
Before
it's
we
crazy that they were able to accomplish these graphics
yeah,
with this little.
before we wrap this
information.
up, I just need to highlight real quick how funny it is when Samus runs with her gun pointed up. I love the little noodle legs. This looks so funny. Just like, I'm on a mission. My zero mission. Yay! Oh god. I like Metroid.
When should we do the next one?
Shit,
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
6:30 next time because it seems like it's hard for you actually to like get off work and get ready before 6.
Maybe we could do like
So we'll do 6:30.
6:30.
And
Let the-
it's Wednesday now, so
I'm not
Friday?
gonna commit to a date right now because I do have some weekend
Mm.
plans that I'll have to sort through. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
probably Monday at the latest then.
Yeah, probably.
All right, sometime between now and Monday at 6:30.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Let's wrap it up then. I love you, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Meow meow, everybody. Fucking